I've just realized as I've hit record that I have the dishwasher on.
Okay. Well,
At some point it'll beep.
Okay. That'll be a good point to mark.
Probably in the next hour or so.
It'll be a timestamp. It'll be our only timestamp for this episode.
Yeah, I used this time as well to put a load of laundry on. I vacuumed and I tidied. Before you guys came, this place looked like a truck had hit. A truck, a storm,
tornado.
Yeah, nothing good. It's crazy when you get to be in your home for an event. It's not a normal experience that I have. Normally, my hotel room would take the brunt of it. Here, it's my house that's taking the brunt of it.
Do you like it?
I think it's good and bad. It's great to sleep in your own bed, but to try and keep the routine is really difficult because the work hours change every day, and then you have to clean up after yourself. You don't have anybody coming in to change out your towels. So, so it's the small details about life. I'm running out of toilet paper, so I'm going to have to get more of that,
Oh, my God.
Exactly. So there's some problems with it.
It's horrifying.
I don't like it.
How many have you done? A few in Serbia, I guess.
A couple in Belgrade, but it was all pre-COVID. Well, no, actually, there were a couple of post-COVID, the ones from Relog, like the Brazy party and the Rubets and anything like that. And it's just hard because it's hard for me to just... You don't have the feeling that you're at a tournament.
Yeah.
So you're doing all your like normal home stuff still. You're like chilling with people, doing this, doing that. But there's also like you're also working, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I prefer to be away, and then I have no distractions, and I'm just working. Right.
Fortunately for Jason, no lands in Michigan. Have you had the experience of having a LAN event being at home?
No, I would say only from like the COVID area, right? But that's everyone just staying home,
playing online.
And I think we all agree that sucked. Everything about the COVID sucks.
I mean, I've played tournaments and obviously Royal Arena, but we're just staying at the hotel.
Yeah.
I don't live close enough to stay at home.
Where are you from in Denmark?
You
don't want to dox yourself. That's fine.
No.
Copenhagen or not Copenhagen?
It's like 40 minutes from Copenhagen.
Okay.
It's like by the water, like close up to like Sweden, I think.
Okay.
I just almost bought my new apartment just now.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's going through.
Yeah, like almost, right? Like it's gonna go through for sure.
Well, congratulations!
Yeah.
Congrats. That's a good feeling.
In Copenhagen, yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah,
in Copenhagen.
Yeah,
so you're gonna be moving down.
Yeah.
Is that where the rest of the team is?
No, yeah. The Device is there obviously, and Bro as well, and Staehr kind of lives close to Copenhagen, like just outside, and Jacob lives basically like in the middle of nowhere, like literally.
Every team has one guy like
apparently
that.
Hooksy's like that. Like he lives on a farm.
But they live very, very close to each other.
Really?
Yeah. And as far as I know, Hooksy lives there, still like at home, with his parents,
Yeah.
and just chilling.
Okay.
Just grinding seed.
Well, that makes sense. Hooksy and Yabi living near each other out in the middle of nowhere. So I know there's also like the HLTV crew who are up in like Odense and stuff where we had a couple of lands for
Odense.
Yeah. I go with a TH, it's my bad. But we also spend an awful lot of time in Denmark.
Yeah, we do these days between Blast, between the Odense years.
You guys do.
Oh,
yeah. You like it? You like it in Denmark?
Everything's very expensive.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, the tax is high.
But it is consistently rated the happiest country on earth.
Very clean.
That's what people say.
Isn't it Finland?
No.
Finland is up there.
I don't know
Maybe.
why. It's all the saunas. Must be the sauna.
It's so
I think
cold.
Finland, like they're one of the countries like where they don't go to school for long,
Sure.
I remember when I was in school, like I just finished. I only did like what do you call primary school? What you say? I only finished that. On that I've just been playing CS. But I remember when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, they did this whole reform, or like what do you call it, like making school days way longer for us.
Okay.
That was like insane. I think they've changed it back since because it was too much. Like just like 12-year-old. Like 13-year-old
how long at school are we?
Boys and girls, like from 8 sometimes to like 5:30 or not 5:30, like 3:30, maybe like 4.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's very long. But my point was that Finland, maybe because one of the happiest places is, I know that they don't go to school for that long.
Yeah, so
I think they're doing the right way, like how with school. No, I'm serious.
It's like Copenhagen in summer is a different beast. It's like the coolest. Like when you just watch people, like I swear to God, no one in Copenhagen works when summer hits.
It's the same in Germany. Like the sun comes out.
They're just drinking beers, jumping in water all day long.
Yeah.
Every time you like have like someone you need to work with in Denmark, they're like, "Yeah, I'm on like a month-long mandated holiday," and I'm like, "What? A month? You're gone?"
But that's because they're paying 60% tax. They get all the benefits. They don't have to pay for education, all of those good things. So I take it you didn't like school very much then.
I mean, not really. I'm not really too big of a fan of it. I think like obviously there's good things from it, like you get taught some stuff that's like valuable, but
Bloody hell, we got a poltergeist in the building. The cupboard's just
Also-
swung wide open.
I also feel like at least like some things could change, like with the way some things are like useless as well, if you ask me. But it was nice being with friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I just preferred staying home playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you at 17 in Leicester.
Yeah.
You were with Heroic. It was Pro League. I just remember how tall. Like you're a tall lad. I don't think that people realize you're a tall boy. And I remember I was like, who the fuck is this guy, right? Like, because back then that's when you were kind of just breaking out. The team that you were in before that was Fragsters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from Fragsters, it's pretty much just kicked off since then. But this is going back to 2018,
I was gonna say Leicester.
2017,
that goes way
2018.
back.
Yeah, I think 2018 or 2019.
19.
I think 19. As
Yeah,
well.
19
Yeah.
was Leicester.
Yeah.
You were coaching then.
Yeah,
That place
was
sucked. It
great.
smelled like piss.
yeah.
Yeah.
First one
it
was in
bad.
Leicester, then the
It
second
was
one
bad.
was in London at close to Wembley.
That's where you guys were in London, but we were still doing the broadcast from Leicester.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was pretty tough back then. Yeah, that was, and to think, that's 6 years ago now already.
Yes.
Well, 5, yeah.
That's 5 around it.
Still, yeah.
Time's flying. Time is absolutely. I'm gonna check on the beers and see if they're cold. One second, John.
All right.
Have you ever, like, because, obviously you focused on playing very early on, have you ever got to a point where you were, like, considering what you would do in life outside of CS, right? Where you would have it, if you had to go to school and, like, do the normal stuff, what would you do?
I've never. I mean, I have considered it,
Mhm.
but it's hard to like find an answer. I feel like. I mean, I remember I finished the primary school, and at that point, like, before finishing it, I could feel like a bit from my mom. She was like, kinda like, "Come on, Martin, go get an
Yeah.
As
education,"
moms
you
are.
know? I mean, I couldn't feel like the support like 100%, but I had it from my brothers. Like, CS has just been in the family,
Mm.
But I remember I told her at some point around then that I didn't feel like her support 100%, and it kind of hurt me because I wanted her to like believe in me, and that helped a lot. That talk, I feel like, and obviously now she's very happy for how things are going, right? But
Pretty mature conversation to have.
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
teenager.
I don't think I ever had that conversation with Counter-Strike with my parents.
No, mom was having tantrums and making dinner on my own because they wouldn't let me play. Every time they're like, "Come out for dinner," I'm like, "I'm playing again." And then I was just stop making me dinner. I'll make noodles.
Mom, I can't pause this game.
And you've had sat there and had a heart to heart with your mum about it. That's pretty cool.
yeah, that was nice. It was nice.
So you get stuck into Counter Strike. So when did you start playing?
Yeah. So I mean, I think the first time I like touched the keyboard and playing CS, I was around 6 or 7 years old.
Damn, another one of these. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and there was Source back then that my brothers played.
Unlucky.
I mean, I like Source. I like Source. I like Source, and I mean, I just remember all the time just standing behind them and just watching them play, just wanting, let me play. You know? And them bringing like friends over, for like LAN parties, and I just wanted to be a part of that so bad, and it was just, this is the good life, I want to just play. So yeah, and then I don't know, I've just been playing ever since.
Yeah, we're bouncing all over the place.
LAN parties, bro.
Yeah.
I miss them.
Well, that's a different story too.
Yeah, it is.
But how old are you now? 22. 22, and you have your own apartment.
Yeah.
It's pretty legit.
Bloody hell! Like that shows the power of modern day professional Counter-Strike. Like the owning your own property at that type of a young age, like that's very liberating. Like that kind of takes away a lot of life's pressures.
That's crazy.
At
It's
that age
really
as
good.
well. That's insane. At least you're making healthy investments. You're not doing what Breeze did and bought like a Rolex with diamonds in it and that kind of stuff. You're actually spending your money nicely. That's it. Yeah, nice. It took me to the tender age of 34 to buy something.
Yeah.
You've got a good 12 years on me, mate.
Yeah. Me too. 34.
Yanko bought when he was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Serbia, I think this stuff's
Serbia, it's a bit different price range than Grand Rapids or Perth or Copenhagen. So I had a bit of a advantage there, safe to say.
Yeah, a little bit of a head start.
Well, they got your boy Device coming up soon. He's going to be casting, apparently. He's going to be casting the M80 game. I think he's going to be with Harry and Hugo.
Is he going to be a good caster?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, people would enjoy listening to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, we need to make sure we get the tweets out there about it.
What's it like? Like, how big of a part for you was the move to Astralis? How big of a part of that was just playing with Device?
A lot of it, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I've always like wanted to play with him. I feel like every time you watch him play, you can just see like he just knows something that other players on the server doesn't know, and I feel like he's just one step ahead every time. And yeah.
What is the one sort of quality that he has that you maybe haven't seen before, or that separates him from anyone else you've played with so far?
I feel like the calmness he has. Feel like he's just so calm, and he also spreads this to us when we play, and it's just like you can never feel the pressure on him. Like never, I've never felt it on him when I watched him play or anything. It was always like he believes in himself so much, and he's just like finding comfort in that, I think.
What about when he smashed the monitor in Chengdu?
Well,
Shut out.
Was he frustrated like verbally, or was it just because I'd be pissed off, right? Like with the situation that happened. Obviously, visually, we saw him get frustrated, but in terms of like his demeanor and stuff.
I mean, I think he said some bad stuff about the tournament maybe at the moment, but it was like he said something, but it was like he realized what like this is so shit, and then he like chilled, and then all of a sudden he's landed, like like he was just chilling, and then
that energy had to go somewhere.
Yeah,
he couldn't keep it all bottled in.
Yeah.
How much of a difference is that? I mean, you say like spreads calmness. How much of a difference is that compared to Cadian on heroic? Because Cadian obviously is like the bombastic, energetic celebrations. I have to imagine that's a pretty big contrast between the two of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as you say, like Casper is way more like energetic and like spreading like hype constantly.
Yeah,
I feel like Device is also like, I feel like in general we have a really, really good chemistry when we're playing right now as well. I feel like everyone is also like shouting and when we win rounds and like cheering each other up, and I think he's good at that as well. But I definitely think it's like, I think maybe sometimes with like if you're comparing them, then maybe you would have like higher highs with Casper sometimes, but like more stable here.
Yeah.
But because it's sometimes hard to like regulate in the emotions, of like,
Sure.
It's like oh it's so good, and then oh fuck, we lost this round. Shit.
If you're playing with the emotions unleashed, you don't get to dictate where they go.
So you need to find like a good balance between it.
Yeah. I think the thing is with the heroic run that you had with Casper and now this team, there was an interview question that I'm sure got asked you the last couple of days about like how good this Astralis roster can be. Heroic was pretty damn good. Do you think this Astralis team can be better than that?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. I feel like, we have a really strong team. I would also like to give a lot of praise to Staehr, actually. I feel like he's for sure like one of the best players I've ever played with.
Really?
Yeah, I would
At
say
19?
So. Yeah, I would say so. I think he has very high potential, and he's already showing it now, but I feel like he's very smart, very good at communicating, like all the things the opponent are doing as well, to how to counter it, and just overall just giving the communication very good, hitting really good shots. I can feel the talent.
He's really emerging on that team.
Yeah, as I said, when he played with him on Sprout for a brief period of time, he said that his level of communication was like an in-game leader's level of communication, the way that he'd relay information.
I think it was also, I mean, I saw that on Sprout as well, and there was that one cattle tournament they played where I was standing behind them a little bit, and just because I was also interested to see him a little bit more, how he behaves in that sort of an environment, and I was really impressed. That's why I saying way back that Astralis should pick up him and Zyphon perhaps at the time, and they did it later. And I don't know why it didn't really work out for him initially, right? Like there was a lot of people who were, when they stuck with Staehr over Buzz, people were like, oh, why? Buzz was doing so well, probably better than Staehr at that point. But I think it's evident, it was after that point where he really got unleashed. And I was going to ask you that kind of, it's like, because we hear it from everyone, even before you joined the team, like they were talking about, Staehr, we know what he's capable of, like we all trust him that he is, an insane player.
Yeah, he's really good.
So I guess we could see more from him potential-wise. Like Bro comes in and plays this anchor. He was already playing pretty tough spots over there on NT, right? And he seems like he fits in, because every time I went to interview you guys in Chengdu, you guys are messing around with each other. Like it's like dudes do. They're play fighting and all this type of stuff. And it seems like the vibe's really good. Device is obviously a bit older than you guys, but the rest of the team is like a very young age, and it feels like it looks like a young, hungry bunch. And even though Heroic was a good team, it's not like you guys dominated. You know, you didn't have like a huge amount of trophies coming through the door. So I imagine you're still really hungry to get to that point.
Yeah, for sure. And as you mentioned, we are a young team. I'm now the second oldest on the team.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a flip, huh?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Always used to being like the youngest, so that's funny, like being in that when it's like changing.
But you got a lot of experience already. Like we were just discussing before, you've already been like at this somewhat level of pro league at least for 6 years, right? So you've already got more than half a decade worth of pro Counter-Strike under your belt. I hate doing this. It just makes me feel like such an old motherfucker.
Old bastard. Old grouchy
You
bastard.
see it just flying by.
You guys are like hanging on, you know. You didn't let yourself go, right? You look good. You can't tell the age. But yeah, I said it, you know, probably, you know, every time I talk about your team, I say this is the horniest team in Counter-Strike right now, you know, because even in Chengdu, you know, some of these other teams, right, coming from the major and this and that, and are trying to, you know, just get through the motions. And you've obviously been practicing a lot, and Device is in a new role, right? You're back in your old positions and just so horny to show everyone like what you be and how good this team can be. So is that, you know, correct, right? Like, is that how you guys, like, it's just that honeymoon period when everyone's super motivated and you just want to show everyone what you're capable of?
Yeah, for sure. I feel it's also been it's been some rough months, you know, like with all the drama and like everything and the switch and not everything connecting in the beginning, like losing. And I would say like just in Chengdu, like getting those victories we got there and like the way we played there, it like gave me the feeling of like remembering how it feels to win again, you know? It has been such a long time since I felt that, and it's honestly been like a very hard period, also mentally. So just like getting that feeling of like winning against some good teams again and playing some good Counter-Strike just gave me even more motivation, you know, because it feels so good. It feels really good.
But I gotta ask you, because for me it was weird, like, you know, all the talk about and blame and this and that, because, you know, Astralis, before you joined during Cologne last year, right, vibes were great, playing good Counter-Strike, made it to the playoffs, right? It didn't seem like, you know, the style was the problem or whatever. So I don't know, what was it kind of that some of the main problems that you guys had that really prevented you from doing better? Because obviously you still had very good players, but we all know that there's more to playing good Counter-Strike than just having good players.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, like the main thing was that like me and Yabi basically didn't have our positions that we had in Heroic, you know. Like I think I kept like 2 positions, and then was like Inferno, like the A side player, like rotation, and Banana on T Inferno. I think that was the only positions that I kept from Heroic, and I think Yabi then also had like all other positions basically, and that just like didn't suit us. And yeah, I think having us in more comfortable positions now is just makes it like that's one of the main things, I think. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, as you say, when you have like too many good players as well, we've seen that as well. Sometimes it's hard to make things work. But yeah, I would say like it's like that.
Well, I mean, you said your comfort level is obviously up with those roles because you've been killing it since this change happened, since Device took over.
But there's a lot of things that play into that, I think, right? Like obviously the position is one of them, but the amount of pressure that it looked like you guys were under when trying to qualify for the major was insane. Like nobody was smiling. Everybody just looked stressed the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard you talk about it somewhere else on some podcast as well or something. But I mean, I personally didn't like feel the pressure like that much. Honestly, like of qualifying. I mean, obviously, but not more than usual, like than the other Amars. To be honest, I feel like the mood was just bad on the team. Honestly,
yeah,
the mood was just bad.
If you look back on your time in Heroic, because we all have like our theories from the outside and everything, what was the main thing holding you guys back from winning more stage games and from doing better, you know, in the biggest playoff games at events?
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's hard to answer because we tried so hard to find the answers for it. Because, like we showed like at least 2 or 3 times that we could win a lane tournament, big teams, you know. So we knew we had the level, and like we've face maybe at their strongest, like in like major semifinal before. It's like we know how to play on the stage. I think maybe sometimes we had a harder time replicating like all the good stuff we did when playing in the studio on the on the stage, probably because of like stress, or like more nervous or stuff like that. Because when we played really good and like when we played the best when we did in heroic, like I feel like no one could beat us, and it was just hard replicating that sometimes, I guess.
I mean, you guys had that crazy style of like heavy rotations, sometimes some big gambles, and I guess if you get in those pressure situations, the comms to actually execute those things probably dry out pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think like if you have the right players and like who's not like shutting down, in those moments, you can definitely play that style. But yeah, sometimes I guess we just fell out individually, like from players sometimes.
Did you guys feel pretty like I guess insulted might be a good word for it, like as a team? Were you guys ever like everyone considers us chokers? That was one of the big things, was like, they're still playing good Counter-Strike, still good individually, but they just choke in these big moments. Was there any veracity to that, or did you feel like that was like, this is bullshit? Like,
I mean, I think it's fair to say it's in some level.
Sure.
But again, like we did show it as well that we could win.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's just how it is in sports, like when everyone thinks like we should be winning, and when we don't do it, like we're just gonna get like more talk about it, that's just how it is.
I asked that question because Device historically was known as one of the biggest chokers of all time, and he obviously went through like some crazy.
Well, his team.
It's
Sure.
also like,
All right.
look at the body of work now. That was like the first 10-15%. Jesus Christ.
Is it any less true?
No, but his team.
Is it any less true?
His
Okay.
team.
Device and his teams were considered some of the biggest chokers of all time.
Yeah.
In the early days of CS:GO, but he obviously went through like this transformative, like figured out how to control it, figured out how to make it better for himself and for the team. I'm just curious if like if you get any advice from him, if there's anything he has that he goes to the team and he's like, this worked for us to get over the hump, or have some lesson that's worked out for you guys or for you.
I mean, as I also said earlier, like he has this calmness, that's really good for us. I think a lot of the things that we were doing is in heroic as well is like the way to do it as well, to be honest. I just felt like we just couldn't hit it like consistently. It's just about more experience.
Okay.
We've all been there, man. We've all had teammates who, when the big moments come, when the fucking final comes along, right, all of a sudden, they're not the same player. There's no information plays. There's no pushes. He's just in the fucking bomb site behind, holding this one angle and just waiting for people to come to him, right? And it couldn't work 15 years ago, and it's definitely not going to work now, right? I think it's just, there's nothing you can do except change a player, right? Like, and I'm not gonna now start poking who was it or who was the guy. I think people can probably guess for themselves if they want to play that game, but at that point you just need to change that guy for someone who's going to do that.
But Heroic was pretty good with the changes, I thought, up until the point when they were making the changes throughout. I remember like with Nico and stuff there, and then you guys made some changes.
Refresh was out.
Yeah, like they was pretty proactive with the changes, but I guess like to get over that final hurdle, which is probably
they needed one more.
Yeah,
they needed that one more was left.
Exactly.
Right? There was one more left.
It's so hard to make that change though. Like I'm sure you guys had to have had the conversations when you're placing top 3 at every event, ranked top 3 for like 6 months. It's got to be so hard to actually commit and pull the trigger on something like that.
That's why you made it.
Well, also culturally, right? Like you guys were really looking for someone who can fit your group, right? It's not just about what's the guy doing in CS.
Yeah.
But it felt like, okay, so I'll try and get my fucking internet to work so we can make sure the game's still on the back.
Oh, you have this issue too with
I don't know what the
I have the
fuck's
same thing
going
at
on.
home.
I don't know what
Sometimes
it
the
is.
internet just stops working
Yeah.
with it.
Can maybe try
reset
YouTube
it.
stream.
Yeah, I will give that a crack in a minute. But let's get into some juice, shall we? The amount of like dramas that happened for Heroic in your tenure there, like the Hunden stuff, and then the more recent stuff with you leaving and coming to Astralis. It's like a soap opera. Like if Danish television should really turn that into a soap opera, it would be a sick saga, right? It's like, it'd be amazing. It'd be really cool to watch. But the amount of dramas that happened, did it eventually just get to the point where it was like, for fuck's sake, like there was too much baggage in Heroic? It's like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I think it comes down to a lot of stuff, to be honest. I mean, it was very hard for us in the team, as you say, like going top 2, going to the final, losing. Like it was, and we always tried to find a solution, and then we see like glimpses of it. Okay, we can do it, and then failing again. I think that was very hard, like mentally.
Yeah,
because I remember, like at least in the beginning, when you're like coming up and like doing moving up the scene, you know, when you're like, for example, at this pro league or something like that, and you would like qualify to the playoffs, and you'd be like, yes, like that's the best like result, you know, and like then you lose maybe in the quarters, nice to a good team. You're like, a nice try, guys, really good tournament, you know, like qualify for playoffs, and then next tournament maybe you qualify again, maybe go one more round or something, and nice, let's go. But in the end, for us, it was just like, of course we qualified for the playoffs, like of course we are in the final, and then losing, that just hurts even more.
Of course we're losing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, it came down to like a lot of stuff. I feel like, yeah, and maybe just trying something new is good.
We always framed you guys as like the brotherhood, right? Because you guys had been through so much shit, and that it was always like a tight knit group. And Katie would always talk about his relationship with you, and that you guys were very, very close and stuff. Was it that way within the team, like the way we framed it from people looking from the outside in, that it was you guys against the world, and like you'd build that type of culture?
Yeah, for sure. And as you mentioned as well, I think me and Kasper, we have played basically for like 4 years together or something like that, and we did really have a very close connection, like both inside the server and outside the server. And I mean, I remember when he first came in for the stand-in, and when I was like 17 or what I've been, and he met in there, and like he had so good energy, and we got, let's play this tournament and stand-in, and we just immediately connected, you know, both outside and on the server. We just, the communication when we were playing, like we just understood each other, and we just both like acknowledged it immediately, and we really enjoyed playing with each other, and basically like started all this in heroic together, you know, like bringing like these players in, we're gonna play like this, and he took over, and from Snappy to become the captain and stuff like that, and just been through so much together. And I think, like, without going too deep into it, but like, I mean, I still love him, you know, I still like really enjoyed the time we've had together. And I think, yeah, it's a hard topic, you know, but like,
do you guys still talk now or no?
The thing is, like, what I want to say is also, like, I've spoken with him also after all this, and like the way the things happened, I regret like the way some of the things happened, you know, like I didn't, if I could go back, I would change some things of like how the things happened. But,
sure.
And yeah, and that's been hard as well for me, because you just can't, you know. But yeah, I would wish some things would have happened in a better way, but now the things are as they are, and I regret some things. And I've talked with him as well, and like said sorry for how some of the stuff went down, you know, and I still care for him, and I wish him the best, you know, like I really do.
Yeah.
And the same for the other guys, and heroic and as the organization as well. Like it was a shit show for sure, and like I don't know.
It's a wild sequence of events, and especially in our industry, when that stuff starts getting made public, it gets even weirder.
But it's so the thing I think is what we're doing is a competition at the end of the day. So your goal as a human being in this space is to win, right? And I think one of the things that's different between Counter-Strike and maybe other traditional sports is the sheer size of a team. It's 5 people plus a coach, and then whoever the ancillary people are who are on top of that. So it's actually quite intimate, right? And then when you have to do these things, it's the hardest shit in the world. I remember when we cut Havoc. So we're living overseas, right? 6 Australian blokes living overseas in a casino in fucking Las Vegas. And we're like, man, we have to make a change. So now we're going and having like fucking secret meetings in hotel rooms to have discussions with people about what we're going to do. And then we have to decide that we're going to send one guy on a 24-hour plane journey back to Australia who's been with us, right, for the last like 3 to 4 years, and we've have all these bonds together, and we've lived life together and experienced it. And then you have to go say, hey mate, can we have a chat? And you go sit there, and you fucking 3 other teammates aren't saying shit, and here I am fucking, hey Luke, we're gonna get rid of you. It's like, for fuck's sake, like. And then since then I've probably spoken to Luke a handful of times, right? This was someone that I spent a lot of time with over like 3 to 4 years. And this is like, it's not an easy thing to do. You kind of have to move on in the pursuit of getting better and pursuing the trophies, which is what we're doing as part of this competition, right? So like, and also to do it as young men, right? That's another thing. Like you with the conversation you had with your mum, that's a very mature thing. But I will say, me at your age, I was a fucking idiot. Like I don't know what I was doing half the time, right? So to make decisions as young men in this world with other young men who we're not really great at talking,
Right.
you know, we're learning.
Yeah,
it's
we
tough
get there.
Stuff. It's tough stuff. But I think you know, you bang on, like when it's in the public eye, especially with the way that you guys have it in Denmark, with it being a media thing, everybody knows Astralis, right? Yeah, you can't really make one wrong move, and especially with even more of the spotlight that's been on over the years too.
I mean, I'm not speaking to this situation directly, but even you don't even have to make a wrong move at all. Like it can just get warped by a public perception or a public conversation, right? Like once that information hits the public, it's no longer yours to control.
And you can't respond because the initial thing that goes out sets the tone. Even if you weren't in the wrong, or even if you have like a reasonable rebuttal or information, it doesn't matter because 95% of the time the damage is already done. You see that in every team, right? When someone comes out and accuses someone, well then that person's going to be labeled as that.
Well, what's the saying? A lie gets around the world before the truth has a chance to get out of bed.
Yes.
Something like that. Gets halfway around the world. So yeah, it's tough. But I think just like kind of in the end, it was just Counter-Strike related, right? Like you just had disagreements on how to move forward with the team, which caused you to like kind of wanna, you know, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it was just in the end there was also just like a bad vibe, I would say. Like it was just, as I said, like it was just so hard for us, for all on the team. Like kind of felt like it was hard to like move on from here, you know. So yeah, it was just
I think that's what people are. Sometimes it does get like that. I feel like something that's similar to that was in 2018/2019 when FaZe, with Kerrigan, because like that's when FaZe asked me to come and coach them. And I said, like, whenever they told me, I'm like, what's your plan for like the in-game leader position? And, you know, they said, okay, we're removing Kerrigan and we're thinking of getting Exist because he was standing in for Fnatic for like the Katowice major and so, which I didn't love that idea, you know, but whatever. And I tried my best. I tried like, guys, we will not find in-game leader as quality as Kerrigan. Like, is there any way we can keep him on the team? You know, I'll be coming in, I'll work with him on whatever the problem is. I think he just also needs some help, right? That he's overburdened. You know, you had a bad stretch. And it was like, no, because the relationships within the team deteriorated so much, right? That they lost the trust in him.
Sure.
And if the players don't trust the in-game leader, right, like that team
you
cannot function. So it just came to like, it's sort of a natural end.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Cheers
to Kerrigan.
It's Kerrigan.
It just came to its end, and you know that's how things had to happen, right? And it's unfortunate that it comes to that because, as we all know, he's an incredible in-game leader, and some of the players on that team are also incredible. But that's the problem. Like some of that, for them, it wasn't like it was for you guys. I mean, they had results, but then they didn't, and then it was the frustration of that part, and just kind of there wasn't also the level of support staff and people who would pay attention to that and sort of not let those relationships deteriorate as much, which I think is what, you know, a lot of organizations have nowadays. And that's why people talk so much about the culture and the vibes in the team, right? As you can clearly see when a team is struggling, for example, recently, right? You could just see that something is rotten in Cloud9. Like, you know,
even that way with G2 now.
Yeah. I was going to say, that was going to be my example.
I feel
I wouldn't say rotten, but it's headed in a bad direction.
It's a bit moldy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I remember in Dallas last year, that like don't you remember Hooksy? Like there was this whole thing where he just looked like so dead, you know.
Yeah.
He was just walking around looking down all the time. I thought that was like GG there. But apparently they came back from
he bounced back.
Yeah, but because the thing was like that was him doing it to himself. You know, it wasn't like the team was fully behind them. The players, no one was like, fuck you, bro. Like, and he was just really hard on himself because of the major. You know, and he thought, oh, he fucked everything up and that's it. And he's done. And, you know, no one else, you know, no one was sending him those signals or anything like that. They weren't in talks with anyone, like trying to look for his replacement. Like, and after that, they gave him like a sort of a lash in a sense of, hey, either you can't be like this, right? Like either you're going to
step up or not
behave normally, right? Or actually we will have to look for, we don't want to replace you, but if you keep doing this, we'll have to. And that's where he stepped out of it. And then, you know, after the break, they won Cologne.
How much like player gossip do you get? Do you get a lot from all the different Danish teams? You're coming through the pipeline, you know, you're hearing about how things are going.
You have to, bro.
I mean, for sure, there is some, there's some, but I don't know how much.
I'm not asking you to tell me. I'm just
no. I mean, there's definitely always here something, you know, like people always talk.
Yeah,
people always talk.
So, dude, even the Danish people in production get wind of the gossip.
Yeah,
when I'm at like Blast, like even the Danish like production guys will be like, hey, you know what's going on in fucking Rogue right now, or you know what's going on with this guy, and I'm like,
so
oh,
untapped
shit.
to all the gossip.
I am too.
I want to get back.
How do you know this?
I got to get back in on the gossip, man. I got to start. You know, now that Justin's not on the team anymore, I get fucking nothing. I just like, you know, that was my one source to sign. Now I have no information coming my way. So we spoke about the Cadian situation. What about with like Shush and Tessus?
Yeah, I mean,
is it in a similar position or a different position?
We say hi to each other, you know. Like, I mean,
hey, you're like me with all my ex-girlfriends. Like, you have to say hi. Just you know,
a couple of them are a head nod. Couple of them are hi. Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Tess has been out with some interviews, you know, saying, but I think the things he's saying is fair, you know. Like he doesn't want us to succeed and stuff like that. That's fine. I wish him nothing but the best. But like, I mean, I truly
listen. This is not like an interview session or anything like that. Like he's saying also the stuff that he had, you know, like but it does feel good with it to see them like lose sometimes or something like that. It is what it is.
Yeah,
right?
of course, it's fair. It's fair.
If you play, you want to fucking destroy them.
Sure.
You like to beat them 13-0 if you can. It's like, here's what you get, Tessus, for talking that shit, bro.
Of course.
We come now, you know, die hard with a vengeance. You come back. It's the fucking sequel that you didn't want to see.
You didn't know you wanted.
But now you get 2 more Grudge matches. Every time you go up against Liquid and every time you go up against Heroic. Like, does it feel like there's a bit extra in those matches?
Yeah, I mean, we played Heroic twice in the beginning and lost to them both times. Best of ones though, both of them.
And you had Blame baiting you every round, so.
No, bro. The first game, they were super unlucky.
I mean,
best of one. I've seen they just every key round, like sort of Heroic one. They won both pistols in that game, and like the first recent round, but you know, like. I think maybe Astralis won double the gun rounds than Heroic because all of their rounds had to be gun rounds.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Second time wasn't as good.
No. Second time.
I don't have anything for you.
I got nothing for you there.
Oh, that was a clean loss.
But I also want you, like, you know, sometimes when people we talk to players and they say, you know, is there like a grudge match here or something like that? Or is there a little bit of extra motivation against this team? And you know, people just say, "Nah, it's just another game, bro." There's definitely
even
teams.
There's
Or they're just like a team that you don't like their style, you know. Or in practice, they're a completely different team. So when you play them, you're like, "Yeah, I want to beat this team more than someone else." Not because you have like beef or anything. It's just like there's something about them that like irks you the wrong way.
Yeah,
you have those teams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can always find something, you know, to hang on to. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sometimes
VP is every team's grudge match.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. VP has always been so annoying to play against. To be honest. Always.
Oh, the grand final against them in Rio. How's that one feel?
Not good.
Is that the toughest loss of your career?
Yes, for sure. Oh yeah, that one and the game Legion one in Paris.
Yeah.
Both of them pretty hard. Yeah,
different reasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like you versus outsiders in the grand final. Like, you guys played against Furia, right? In the
Yeah.
Semis,
semis.
yeah.
And that would have been insane.
Yeah, that was also
Was
insane.
that fun?
That's the most insane match I've ever played, for sure.
It was just a crazy
Yeah, it was
environment.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
so sick.
How much could you hear in game?
Like, nothing. Basically nothing. Like, we had to turn up the first map was Inferno, and we got destroyed like 13-5. And you just like had
Arenas
Art
popping off.
just rushing up with a Mac 10, just rushing B. I remember holding B and they just rushed B twice. I couldn't hear anything. And on the T side, Casper was calling and no one was like, we couldn't hear anything.
Didn't even hear the
So we
calls.
just went out there and just like, guys, we can't hear, we're not talking, we can't hear each other. We've never tried anything like it. So we just like, I would just full volume on CS and TeamSpeak, and then we could hear a bit better. And then we just came back.
That's one of those games where you're just like, there's no point in me walking.
I'm getting goosebumps remembering
There's-
that.
You know
atmosphere
what?
of that
Yeah,
event.
exactly. You know what's crazy though? For all the choking that Heroic did, what happens in those series? They lose Inferno, they go to Ancient, they have a massive lead. Furia comes back on the CT side, right, of Ancient. It goes to overtime, and then Heroic wins in overtime. Like you would, for all the like choking, so it's like, okay, this is where they just lose. But no, you guys actually stuck to it. Then you just own them on Nuke. Like they didn't know what was happening.
Well, Furia historically on Nuke is never been
Yeah,
impressive.
they tried to throw outside smoke walls a few times in their history, and
Couple
usually
times.
they miss.
Yeah.
You know, we still credit them and say maybe it was the plan. No, but okay, so that would have been wild thinking back to that one. Then versus outsiders in it's so crazy to think that they won a major.
But they played really good.
They did.
And even I was a little bit scared for them because you started on Mirage, right? And you were up like 4-0, 5-0, and you were doing your thing, like you were playing well. Fame was 0-5. I'm like, shit, is outsiders, they're just like gonna choke, which Jay missed like a couple of shots in the first gun round that he's supposed to hit or usually hits. And I'm like, shit, is everything falling apart from now? But no, then they like stepped up. They started finding like some kills. They got into some rhythm. And yeah, they, ended up winning the fucking major.
Yeah, right.
It's wild.
Hey, they're another one of those teams. Like, if they can turn it around now, they've got Electronic on the roster. Like, they have such good players in that team
Yeah.
to be able to turn it around. So,
What's your general feeling of the Counter-Strike scene at the moment? It seems like a lot of top teams and top players are so up and down and a little
like consistency wise, or
just
or
like how does
just
it,
the strength of the scene overall.
yeah, how's it feel at the moment? Because like Vitality has like I don't
They
lost
looked
the
good
step.
this event, but they only played against noobs.
They've had some off
And the
events and
Mongol.
good events,
Yeah,
and then
sorry.
FaZe is I mean FaZe is FaZe is still there, but like it seems like the top like 5 teams is shuffling around so much.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that strong right now. I mean, I would say Spirit maybe is still the best team in the world.
Do you think in your opinion, is it that so many more teams have gotten better, or the top teams have just like they're not
Dude,
as
everyone's
good as
still
they should be
shuffling, bruh. Don't you think?
in terms of rosters?
Yeah, because like, so if I know you're asking him the question,
Yeah,
but this is how I'd frame it. Spirit are good, but they're only going to get better. They've only had Shiro for a short period of time, so they're still going to build it.
They've been cooking for like a month now as well.
yeah, it took FaZe off.
FaZe need something to get their dicks hard, right? They're playing every tournament, but at the moment they're just going through the paces, so they need something to get their dicks
They
hard.
need a Viagra.
They're old.
Yeah, Vitality need to bounce back, so they have to grind hard. Astralis have made the necessary change to put them on the right path, and they're going to be a sick team,
Sure.
right? We can keep going through this. So when I say Spirit, FaZe,
Yeah.
Astralis,
G2.
Vitality,
I see what you mean.
G2, I think.
They need to rediscover themselves somehow.
Why
They
did
need
they
to
get
get
rid
some
of
swagger
Justin, man? It doesn't make I don't talk about it anymore. Why did they get rid of Justin? It doesn't make any sense.
Hindsight, even in hindsight, probably even more so in hindsight.
VP are heading in the right direction. They've got Electronic in. He's going to be better than Mia, and the team is definitely going to change up their style a little bit, right? It's going to be some teething issues. I know you're not going to love it, but they're going to change it up a bit.
Hoping.
So we're in a position where we are.
There's a bunch of teams ramping up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Navi? Like how good are they?
I don't think they will be as good as they were at the major.
Do you think they're gonna win another win?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
JL played very, very well.
Dude,
I think
I went back and watched some of the games from Navi at the major for some content, and JL stepped up every time they needed him,
Yes.
he won a clutch at like the end of a game
Big
or,
impact
or made a
rounds.
play.
Yes.
It would just be like, oh, this team has just won 7 in a row. It's now like 11-10. JL wins a 1v3. Oh, next game. Oh, this team is ahead. You need to win a round to stay alive. Yeah, like there was just.
The way that they're a threatening team in the future is if Emma plays like he did at the Paris Major, because then.
But he's not going to. They've already given up on that.
Okay, but that is the only way they
Okay.
could.
Well,
because Wonderful's ceiling, he's not there yet. He still has a lot of room to grow.
He's
Wonderful's
so fucking
Yeah,
good,
but I think also, who knows, man? Maybe JL is him. Like we don't think it. Like it doesn't seem maybe like it from the outside, but maybe he just becomes consistent, and this is just like the new norm. But I think also they were helped. I mean, everyone they lost more rounds than they won at the major. I think both G2 and FaZe fucked up the veto against them. G2 should have played Inferno.
Yeah, even Blade
duh.
said it. Even Blade
And
said
then FaZe should have picked Nuke. Duh.
Was it FaZe that picked Ancient?
Yes.
That's
and
insane.
G2 let it go to Ancient as the third when they could have played Inferno. It's
Don't
like,
get Yanko
and listen,
he started. He's
that
rolling.
veto.
He's
no, but
cooking.
all I'll say is, and you remember this, unfortunately, Stockholm semifinal, right? You played the Inferno against G2 as the decider, and Nico had like a fucking game. Because in those games, it's like you want to go somewhere where your players are comfortable, right? And not try to fucking punish the opponents. And, oh, they're ancient. It's so shit. Yeah, but what are your players? Like they don't like it either. So whatever. But
these guys fucking love Ancient.
I wanted to ask you, because I don't know who said it, was Alex maybe. He said Astralis is the best team in the world. We just don't know it yet.
Oh yeah,
What do you think
I
about
heard that on the cast in Chengdu.
Yeah, well, look, I was hyping you guys up. As soon as you got rid of that fucking beta, I was on board. I was on board. I was like, here we go, mate. It must. How did it not infuriate the fuck out of you? Even playing against betas, I lose my mind. You have to play with him.
I mean,
He can't hurt you. He's a three.
He can. He's in Copenhagen. He's right down the road.
I mean, I think that like he's a good player for sure. Like he is, like especially like his CT size, it can be really good. Like he's very good at setting himself up. Like getting all the resources. Sometimes it's a bit.
Happy.
It's a lot. But if you watch some of his games, he has impact CT size. And I think he knows the games well, but I don't know. I think I mean, personally, I would say sometimes it's too much.
Too selfish.
I mean, it's also like
too much. It's like too selfish sometimes.
It's also the burden of translating that into being an in-game leader as well.
Yeah,
but you know that your knowledge doesn't. You can't always. Not everyone is built to be an in-game leader.
I think like sometimes it's fine to have like, because I feel like the other top teams as well have like these betas, like
Robs.
for example, like Robs, like he's baiting as well, like you can definitely see sometimes he's doing something and that's not for the best of the round or the team, and I think it's okay to like make them like feel more comfortable, get into the game, feel like they're playing good. But yeah, I think it can work in some systems, maybe he shouldn't be the in-game leader. And he also said he didn't want to be that anymore. So
you still think he could work out for a team as just a pure player and just, in his role and do that?
Maybe. I think, to be honest, I think he should like look at like, I don't know, like I think he should look like inward and like see like maybe these situations I should play better. Like I should do this for my teammate, or I should this play increases the chance of us winning a round. You have to always think like that way. Like, what the best chance we're gonna win this round? Always.
What's the best move at this moment for my team to win the round? That's what should be going through your head always as a player.
Yes.
And it's always gonna change. Sometimes it is to bait your team.
Yes. It is.
So that's the
Sometimes it is to just bait your teammate, like bait him like a fucking bot.
Yeah.
And then finish the round and win the round.
But
sometimes
most of the
it's
time, that's not the case.
Yeah. Sometimes it's to, run in. Sometimes it's to stay alive. Sometimes it's to fight, and try to kill as many as you can before dying. It all depends. And having that understanding is what we call game sense and
that recognition in the moment.
This is where I have the qualm, right? I've had half a beer and I don't really drink these days, mate. So I'm fucking wasted.
He's a nice
days.
But look, this is the way that blame F. Just to be clear.
Okay, here we go.
He
Buckle in.
is a very good Counter-Strike player in terms of mechanically, the way that he can approach the game, his understanding of situations in the clutch, just taking head-to-head duels. He's very good, which is why I have a bigger problem, is because he is very good. If he played a more team-based style of Counter-Strike and didn't think that he needed to do it all on his own, or his move was the one that was going to win the round, because Counter-Strike's a game of 5 players, right? And everybody's going to have a solution in front of them at one point within the round. If he played a more holistic game of CS, and he was able to see the game as that team-based thing, right, he would be amazing because he is very strong individually.
So your problem is with the unrealized potential
Yes.
that would occur if he changed his mindset.
Yeah, because like baiting comes from a selfish standpoint that you think that either your life is more valuable than the rest of your teammates, or that the move that you're going to make is the best move.
Now,
It's not always the case.
I think baiting is fine. The problem is what Stavn did mention is like you're using too many resources, and what you get in return isn't worth it, right? Like it's fine to bait your teammates or to bait your team if you're like in a round winning position, and what you're going to do is going to put your team in a really good situation to win the round. The problem is like that's not what happens a lot of the time. It's like he gets into a good position to like get a kill or something, but the team can't really move on that because you've used so many of your nades to put them in that spot that, you know, there's an op somewhere alive or you can't cross, you know, like what you're going to do, you're hoping for the best, and then the round sort of falls apart, or you spend too much time to do that. And now even though he like gets the kill and like takes the site almost, like you don't have time to get back there. So
But it definitely affected your team. There's no doubt about it. Like the current roster, like obviously Bro coming in and replacing him, because like the mood within the team, and Device tweeting mid-tournament that he wasn't having fun, and then even the type of strategies that were being run, like it wasn't comprehensive Counter-Strike, right? It didn't even seem that deep. And I know it was only a short period of time that you guys were together, but you consider the players that you had in that roster, and the way that you talked about Staehr before, the teams that Device has played in, the teams that Blame has played in, the Heroic where you and Yabi have just come from, you guys should all have a very good understanding of how to play a more fundamentally sound game of CS, where it was a lot more direct. I thought you guys were doing a lot of 4-1 stuff, whereas now I think that Device still calls some direct rounds, like especially on Ancient, which you guys are loving, but you can also play more default based CS where you and Yabi get to make decisions mid-round and it impacts the rounds heavily. Like it feels at the moment you have a better balance.
Yeah, I think like just the way we're playing right now reminds a lot more of the way we played it in Heroic. You know, just trying to put like finding like each player's like strongest force. You know, like trying to always like put us in the situations where we thrive the best. You know, and where we can take like you need to take like individual decisions. You know,
You gotta use your initiative.
Yeah, you know, like always trust your gut, you know. Never like the worst thing, like player wise, is like when you feel like you don't have confidence. Like that's you just know you're gonna be in a bad period, you know. Like when you if like you always need to play with like full confidence. Always. I also heard this thing like Kerrigan said on. I don't know if it was at the major in the huddle, or I've heard him say it in an interview as well, where he said like, I mean, like, this is phase, you know, like we're just gonna don't be afraid of like over peaking. Like honestly, like just, you know, put trust in your players, you know, like don't like have a bad feeling in your stomach about doing some aggressive play because you feel like the team is gonna blame you or something. Like that should never ever be in your head, you know. And I like that way of thinking. Like don't be afraid of making mistakes. Like if you ever lose a game thinking like you didn't trust your gut or something like that, that's the worst feeling.
yeah.
That was the speech he gave after they had like 2 limp dick games, and he had to fire him up.
To bring him back.
Bring him back in the.
Where do you thrive the most? Because you were talking about, you know, put your players in. What do you know? Where do you thrive most as a player?
I feel like in like mid-round scenarios, like seeing where there is a gap or something like that, and just like understanding rotations really fast. It's always come very natural to me. And it's like, okay, so the A player moved there, it all just comes at once, you know, like in once it doesn't like, where did that player go? Maybe where did it all just comes at once, you know. That's where I feel like I thrive the most.
But that's what you did so much of in Heroic, right? The entire team. It felt like you guys were mid-rounding from the start of the round. Like, it was crazy. There was so much going on the CT or the T side. You guys were proactive, always going for a push, always searching for something on the T side. The stuff that Casper would call, it's like, all right, guys, overpass. 3 of you are going to go fake A, and I'm going to take the bomb outside monster. Like some of the shit you guys did. Like, remember me and I, as Castle, I guys calling the fakey boys and everything. But the shit that you guys were doing was so like wild and required a lot of trust, which is what it felt like Heroic was built on. Whereas in the early days of Astralis, didn't feel like there was any of when you moved to Astralis, didn't feel like there was like any trust. I don't know, like it's hard to diagnose from the outside looking in, but you can just see when players are having a good time or when they're not. Like Hunter, he's never having a good time at the moment. He's having a pretty tough time at the office, as old Hunter. Even though
this game is okay, but in general, yes.
Well, they're in the lead. If they actually come back, and M80 are going to be crushed.
It was 6-4 M80 at one point.
Yeah.
It's now what 6-7-9. Okay.
No,
Oof. Hooksy with a jump scare.
The jump scare.
Hell,
What was your what's your favorite Cadian speech? He gave some fiery fucking speeches.
favorite Cadian speech? Ooh.
Do you have like? Did he say
Cadian
something particularly spicy or funny in it?
there's many. I think the most funny one is one with at the end of the online era, the COVID era, where he did like this imitation speech of like this Danish football coach. That's like insane. And, like he's yelling like the most insane stuff I can't say here, you know. that's so funny, and that was really funny. That hyped us up. That was a good speech. Then he did that sometimes.
Then he kicked the chair, knocked a chair over.
Yeah, well, his celebrations were wild.
Yeah.
It was
Did
like
you
he
ever
scored
just
a
like get
goal
up
in
and you were like,
football.
"What the fuck, bro? Come on now."
Yeah, sometimes, you know, also sometimes you're afraid of giving him a knuckle because break my arm or something.
Oh shit! No, that you guys had some crazy like moments over the years for sure. Like, and to have like success in the online era must have been tough because you guys were in a bit of a bubble during that, like that Pro League season that you won over Gambit in the final and whatnot.
They won Cologne
And
too.
it sucks when you
Yeah,
have that
true.
success online and you don't really get credit for it.
Yeah, but it was the
There's,
only
like-
Counter-Strike
yeah.
that we could play.
Right. But you like, there's always they come back. Like it had to have sucked to have had that success during the online era, and then come back and immediately everyone's like, "Oh, we're back to LAN." Put an asterisk next to everything
Everything
that's
they
been
did,
done
yeah.
for the past year and a half.
But I think Heroic
You had to have
was,
been like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Heroic was the only team that kept it up.
Yeah, Gambit dropped off.
yeah.
Yeah, Gambit dropped off. But also because they were maybe
big as well. Big,
Of
like
course.
that's the most insane.
Let's not put big up in that
most insane.
category.
Searson, the best player of
Germans and
2020.
online Counter-Strike, nothing's ever changed. It's been 20 years. It still hasn't changed. You know, we'll keep that tag to the
It's the one nice thing in North America about Counter-Strike being partially dead is that there's not any. We don't have the French Canadians. The French Canadians were our
Oh, were
Germans.
they your scumbags?
They're our Germans.
Okay.
They're-
We had New Caledonians.
okay.
You ever heard of New Caledonia?
Of course.
So
No,
it's a little French-speaking island off of the east coast of Australia,
French speakers.
and they would play on our like pug system, and a bunch of them would cheat. Like there's no doubt about it, they were cheating. I'm not even a question. They were our
Trying to
but we
stir
would
in the
never
pot
had
now.
to have to see them because they're
Stirring
not
some shit up from
they're-
back in the day.
they're from fucking 15 years
It's got
ago.
his spin out.
They're definitely not flying from New Caledonia to Australia for a LAN. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So they're our onliners. But yeah, I guess Danes have never really been onliners, have they? They've always been good Danish teams.
Yeah, they have been since way back in the day.
Yeah.
I think what was that first Danish team that broke out of the CPLs? Was it? I think they were.
I don't know, you were
called,
there.
I think it was called Titan. Actually, oddly enough, I think there was a Danish team called
Yeah,
Titan. way back
they
when.
were the .dk,
Yeah.
and then they had all the bracket. They had like the square bracket
Yeah.
with the. He probably wasn't even born,
Yeah,
but that was with before they became MTW.
okay.
It was those guys.
At first
Yeah.
it was NOA, no? SOA.
SOA, Spirit of Amiga.
Spirit
Yeah.
of Amiga.
But I think the Titan guys then became.
They were the first
the
ones that had like a
MTW
really
guys.
good placing at the CPLs
Yeah.
from a Danish team. And everyone was like, "Oh, who the fuck?" I remember looking at that flag and being like, "Where the fuck is this team from?"
Oh, so if you came up through Source, you must have idolized Pimp.
no, not really. But no, I like Shocks always.
You remember
I
the
always
friend-
always
Yeah.
looked up
Yeah.
to Shocks. Yeah.
Well, then you would have known of Henry G.
Did you compete in Source, or were you
No,
just playing?
No, I didn't compete,
Too
just
young.
playing. Yeah, I was too young.
What was it? 2004 with Source.
No.
No, 2006 is when
6,
Source first
7.
came out. 5 or 6.
Yeah,
6.
6 I think as well.
WCG 2005 was Source. So I thought it came out at the end of 2004, but I could be wrong.
It might have been 05.
When did CZ come out? Either 2003
year
or
before or
2004.
something.
Dude,
Yeah,
nobody
they'll have
played
pretty
CZ.
good-
Henry's the only person I've ever met in Counter-Strike that played CZ.
There was a CZ like WCG final as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
That was,
But that was like
2004.
you had to play it just because it was the final of the
Yeah.
event. But
Well-
the qualifiers were all in 1.6 in the States.
In Australia, they were in CZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. I remember watching a 23 movie. The WA team won the nationals.
I think in Serbia, when it was the source one, actually the qualifiers were
Was in
played in
1.6.
1.6.
In Australia, we had tour stops. Like WCG went all around the country. I was only 15 at the time, and we came third at the nationals. Probably would have done better if I wasn't so shit. But
Sorry, mate. Boomers are talking.
Yeah.
Story of your career.
yeah, right. It would have really helped me out. Fuck hell.
What was the first event you look back on? You think that was my first LAN tournament I played in? Not like a fun casual LAN with friends, like a first competitive tournament.
First competitive tournament. Like
This is gonna make you feel old.
not some Bayern, right, in Denmark. Like
Well, it could be if it was like
Yeah.
what did
Copenhagen
you guys say?
Games.
Yeah, that was
Copenhagen
pretty
Games.
good. Copenhagen Games was a good one.
Not just some like 2-team LAN party, 4-team like LAN tournament.
He was at
Yeah,
DMX
I-
Opens
I-
with Frax.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Copenhagen Games, yeah. I played that when I was 14 or 13, 14, 13. But yeah, something like that. I think we played what we call the Danish championship.
Sure.
We won that in Fraxters. That was like right before Copenhagen Games in 2016, I think.
Okay.
We won that tournament against Tricked back then, who had like Hunten and Yugi and Borup and those guys. Fries as well.
Okay, yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an old school.
Yeah,
he is.
and Singularity as well. You remember them?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they won the Copenhagen Games right after. You remember with the A&J? You remember him?
Yeah.
He
He
got
went
the
to America for a
MVP.
short period.
He got the
went to
MVP
NRG.
there, and then he changed to Energy after that.
and that's the last we heard of him.
Yes, he's just stuck over there now. Maybe.
It's all over, man.
One of my favorite things about this career in esports and Counter-Strike has been able to go back to my parents like 20 years down the road and be like, I told you so. Like the I told you so moment was really good. When did you feel like
We didn't need to. He spoke to his
I know,
mom
but like
candidly.
yeah,
We
but like when
support
did
He
you
has
when
a
did you
normal
get the
relationship
feeling
with his parents.
not an adverse one. when did you get the feeling that like you're like, oh, I made it. Like, oh, like this is actually fucking working. Oh, like I'm in. I can do this for years. I'm making a living. I'm comfortable with the living I'm making. Like when did that click?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like when I first signed my contract with Heroic, that was pretty big because that was like a kind of a big pay jump from what I got in Fraxters to
Right.
That was like that's a good salary. Yeah,
Mhm.
like that was nice. That felt good. I remember. But yeah,
And then the next step is feeling like you're solidified
Yeah.
enough in the league to like be around.
yeah. I guess maybe one tournament could be like IM Cologne or no ESL Cologne it was called. Yeah,
Mhm.
with Heroic back then, where we played Ends in the opening match. There was the Alu and those guys. We won that game, and we also
This is Freiburg.
yes, it was with Freiburg, and we beat.
shit.
We almost beat Vitality, and I remember I was having a really sick game, and it was an elimination match, and third map Inferno, and I killed 31 or something, but we lost 16-12 or something. And then I remember Apex told me like, "Good game, bro," or something, and that felt good, And
Yeah.
that was like maybe the first time I was playing really good against top teams on lane, and that made me maybe something like that.
Yeah. Gave you
yeah.
that feeling of like
I can do this.
Yeah.
I can if I can do it now, I can do it for a long time.
for the next 8 years,
Yeah.
10 years. Shit.
It's good when you get like recognized though by like pros that you respect and you get those comments. It means a lot. Like
For sure.
it didn't happen a lot to me. I remember we had the Gfinity event, and there's the one where it was like best of twos, and we were playing against
Easy
NIP.
skins?
No, that was the DreamHack Open.
But thanks for reminding me.
And also, Jason, we had just gotten off of a plane, and there was no prac PCs back then. And they
Oh,
nerfed
the
silent
jet lag
Sim 4.
excuse.
So
Here we
not
go.
jet lag. They nerfed the silent Sim 4 while I was on the plane. So fuck off. I remember we played against NIP and we won Train, and then we played against Fnatic and we beat them on Cash, and then we lost on Dust 2. But like the Fnatic guys after, like when we're shaking their hands, they're like, "Oh, like we've never been shot so hard." It's because we were just playing like confident CS. We were playing like cocky kids. Like we're just running at them, a lot of aggressive moves, a lot of duels. When you hear that, it's like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah!" And that's when that was 2015, like when Fnatic was the best team in the world. Like, that was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then after that, sucked. But you get one good tournament, Jason.
Yeah.
You don't get
one good event.
I think I had probably 3 where I played all right. The one at Gamescom where it was the game show with OJ,
Yeah.
and I played against it was like a Danish site, and they had Nico standing in, and I had some good maps there.
Yeah.
And then the major with the Titan game, and then that Gfinity one, and that's probably about it. Everything else was pretty shit. Everything else I was type. Okay. Yeah.
What's your favorite tournament to play?
I think now it would be.
Dallas.
Are you guys even going to Dallas?
What? Yeah, we went to Dallas once.
They were there last
Are you
year.
going there this time?
No, we're not.
Go on, Jason.
I think
Say Dallas, obviously.
my favorite event is probably like the blast in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Just because it's in Copenhagen. Playing on home crowd, stuff like that.
Won one of them.
Yeah, we won.
Right?
We won the. Yeah.
Not last year, the one before it, I think. Right?
Yeah. Who won it? Vitality won it this time, and won the last CS:GO one.
Yeah.
But now I would say like my favorite place to go is Rio. Now I would say.
Really?
Yeah, I like Rio.
Okay. What do you like about Rio? Is it the asses?
I just like the good weather, and like the hotel there is really good. I feel like it's just like
The
good,
people
good
are
vibes
so friendly.
and like going to the ocean and like
Where all the ass?
Yeah. I'm coming for the
What's
water.
you two in the ass? Come on.
I'm there for the
Give my
nice
guy a
water.
break.
This side of the table's ass man.
Jason started the day by saying he was horny on air with
Oh,
word
yeah, he
association,
did,
so
yeah.
it's carried through the whole day.
Yeah.
No, that is good. But it's tough swimming out there, right?
It is like the
current's so
waves
strong.
there are insane. The currents, like I think there's been like 2 times where I was like, okay, I was really afraid something was gonna happen.
We thought Hugo was going to drown one day, mate. Hugo went out there and we're like, this kid, he's a beanpole. We thought he was going to get sucked.
When you
out.
and I went out there one day, I was like, the undertow is fucking mental.
It is strong.
Yeah.
It is strong.
Doesn't mess around.
It can't be like that all the time, surely.
No, I don't hope so.
This is getting fucking close, boys. 11-10 rematch. M80 G2 winner is into the playoffs. Loser's fucked. I think that's the official terminology. Oh, this is a light buy. Shine Monashi. Oh, they're both locked in cage.
It's a full buy. Just a bad buy. They don't have
okay.
money.
Well, they're about to win the 12th round.
Mm.
I want this to end so we can turn the volume up and put the skit
For the
on.
skit on?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
skit's going to be sick.
The skid is going to be really good.
G2 will find a way to lose this fucking game.
Or this round? What do you reckon?
Who's winning Pro League, Stone?
Astralis.
If you don't say Astralis, if you take Astralis out of the equation, who's number 2?
A face, I have to say.
Okay.
Face, yeah.
Yeah, gone for the safe
Or
one.
Vitality maybe if like Saibu gets back to his like real level.
He's
Yeah.
real.
He's
showed-
real
He's
level.
had a couple good days.
He farmed here.
Yeah.
Didn't have the hardest teams to play though.
No,
they
they
played
had easier.
Sharks
Bad Boom.
and
And
then
Mongols.
Mongols. So yeah, it wasn't the strongest opponent
No,
by any means.
no.
Is there a team right now in practice that you think like is playing really well, that when you play them in practice, you're like, these guys are playing smart, shooting hard, good team, but not showing quite in public at tournaments?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I think I know the answer to this question, but top teams are all still playing against each other pretty frequently, right? Like in Europe, you guys have the luxury of like your tier 2 teams are good enough.
You dodging anybody?
I mean, sometimes up to a tournament we are dodging, but like
Yeah.
people know that, like we're in the same group, we're not gonna
Yeah,
play each other. But other than that, no, we play each other regularly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think some teams. I mean, maybe some teams have us blacklisted.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know, but I know that like there are some pro teams who's not practicing against each other, for example, or like they just don't. No, we're not gonna play against. I don't know why. I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
What do you feel about the MR12 change? The rest are in the fridge. They should be cold by now.
I think
I'll take one, Jakob.
I think it's too random, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, because like you can just get like this really good start, honestly, and it's maybe just needs to get used to it as well. But it's just like suddenly you're behind 5-0 and like you can just lose the game in a blink of a second. Like you can't do anything.
Do you think it would be better if the economy gets tweaked a little bit and changed to help CT sides?
Yeah.
especially?
It would change it a bit for sure. It would for sure.
The bottom's over there. Have a bowl of utensils.
But maybe it's okay. I don't know. I think it feels a bit too random. I mean, at least in Go, you had more rounds to rely on, so you had more rounds to like.
You could adjust.
Like you could like more rounds to adjust. Right now it's like almost can be like a guess sometimes.
Yeah, I'm trying to put a framing on it because from an entertainment standpoint, I think it's more palatable in terms of the amount of time. But then I look at some of these rounds, like if you force buy CT side after losing pistol, you need to hope that one of your players got 3 kills so you can drop a silence down 4, or even drop a FAMAS and then, or save armor, buy the FAMAS. And you need to have really good ideas of what you're going to do. And then if they don't come to your site where you've stacked or you have the boost or whatever, you just have to save. So it's one of those things where it's a bit more, I want to say gambly, but you also need to be more creative to try and draw into those rounds. But it is tough. I get what you're saying because rounds can just go against you in CS. Like you can, the smallest mistake could happen, or
you can do everything right and still just lose to an insane shot.
Right. So there's the variance there. It's one of these things where it's the only thing I think is, if you lose, we were talking about this with the devs at the major, is about just like not having it so that if you're the CT side, like you win pistol, you lose follow up. Was that how it went? Was it we were made just so that you wouldn't go down to the 1400 loss?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
your
the
first
minimum
loss-
is 1900.
your
it was
first
increased the
loss.
loss bonus after losing one round.
Yeah, so no matter when your first lost round came in, it was 1900. So you didn't get like fully fucked because CT side $1,400, you can't buy shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can buy.
Yeah,
What
it's
are you buying?
brutal. It's brutal.
Like if one guy drops something on the second round, well, you get 1900 then, right? But that's okay because you have 2K to work with. You get a couple kills. You can drop some things. You can make it work. It's not ideal. You need to be very creative though.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. But it's also from, I guess, a casting perspective, we would need to start highlighting those details more. Like they've done this, let's see how creative they, or where they want to push them, or how they want to go about it.
Honestly, was holding it and then he turned and died.
You see that?
Overtime.
Taz did like this, like after they won that round, and then they've just done that back to him. So M80 is still having a good time. You ever shit talking over the fence?
Come on, get into it.
No,
We did it for you. We didn't do
No
it for
shit
us.
talk?
no,
You ever looking at him?
no. I mean, sometimes Mike can maybe yell at someone who's saving.
Who's
just
the
for,
shit talker on your team?
Who's the shit talker?
It's got to be bro.
What? Bro's the nicest guy.
This device.
Bro's funny as well.
Yeah, but bro
Could
seems
be-
like
could-
he's
could be
nice and he's
devised.
funny.
I don't know.
He'd talk some smack, I feel.
I don't feel like anyone would like yell at anything shit.
I don't think you can really.
or like bad to the other.
You're coming from Monty. You're not really in a position to talk a lot of smack, right? You haven't been
Yeah, he doesn't.
winning a lot
He doesn't
that you
strike
can
me
be
as
able
that
to
kid.
you have to really
He was
talk shit.
funny. He's a funny kid. When I came and I bothered you guys were doing the photos, like he was actually, like, we're looking at the pictures and stuff. He was pretty funny. He was talking about, there's like fallen picture, and he was talking about, yeah, you should always pay respects to your barber. And then there was like the rain one day. He was like, yeah, this guy used to be intimidating. I was like, it's actually pretty funny. I want to ask you about Rugger though, because he's an interesting one. Like for us, seeing Rugger in OG for all the years, right? OG did nothing. Like we don't need to bullshit. They did nothing. And there was and whether that's Rugger's fault or not, like that's something that we can't possibly know because we're not in the team. The only information we get is Kakafu with a passive aggressive subtweet, right? Like you wouldn't actually get any real information out of them, and they just put together these pretty subpar rosters. And then Rugger now gets like he's essentially failed upwards, right? If you look at it, because nothing happened in OG. Now he's in Astralis coaching a really strong roster. What is he like as a coach? Like, what could you attest to? And like, I understand I should have framed that question a little bit edgier because I've just given you like a position to PR answer it. But is he good?
Yeah, he is good. I would say he's definitely surprised me, like positively. What?
Mark the timestamp with the dishwasher.
An hour 12. I told
Hour
you
and
it'd take
12.
about an hour.
1 hour and 12
Yeah,
minutes.
there it is. There's the dishwasher.
No, but he's like for sure. I think he's the coach with like who's like the most like concrete, or how you say it. He talks a lot and has an opinion on a lot of stuff, which I think is nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Strategic or just team environment kind of stuff?
strategic as well. I think like him and Device is having like a really good relationship right now with how they're doing things, for the game plan and stuff like that as well, and just in general like getting aligned. And he came in with a lot of ideas, like we implemented a lot of Rugger's ideas as well from like what he did in OG and stuff like that, and we're just very open to it, and it's just a lot of the things he says makes a lot of sense.
So without like probing to get you to tell us the whole Astralis strat book, like when you say ideas, are you talking about approach to the game? Are you talking about the way that you guys like come up with strategies or communicate? Like what if we were to put them in like baskets, like what type of ideas are we talking about without over explaining?
Just like general philosophy,
Okay.
like how each map works in different like
Approaching situations.
yeah, and like yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I guess it's because he had to explain to people, he had to talk to people in not his native tongue, in an international speaking team, to other people who most of the time were also not in their native tongue. So he's had a very hard experience in OG with trying to.
And they weren't particularly experienced or track record of success.
That's not a fucking excuse. It's
No.
English, bro. Everyone speaks it, and it's also CS. You should know it. Like
English,
if you're-
motherfucker, do you speak
But
it?
this is
Yanko,
the thing.
2024.
We had Bro and Staehr on the couch the other day.
It's not rocket science.
But
No
we-
matter what Valence wants to convince you of. Shout out to Valence, though.
We had Bro and Staehr on the couch the other day, and I asked them what the difference was from their previous teams, like Staehr on Sprout, where he had to speak English, and Bro with Monty, where he had to speak English. And they both said it's the details, the level of detail that they're able to get out is much better in the native tongue, right? And I imagine that'd be the same for somebody like a coach trying to explain themselves.
Bro, I'd be the funniest man in esports if I could do it in Serbian. I'd be amazing. But I
believe that.
and I don't speak Englando. No, but I
Pass
was
on
gonna
London
say, like,
Swift.
for me, for example, when I was coaching, like, I used to hate, for example, like, we're doing this and now I'm gonna find you this flash, or like, that's micro stuff. I didn't really, players were already on top of that, and there's so many examples of shit that you can find that I really liked the more macro stuff, which people kind of so when they have this buy, that gives us more option, and the CTs have a 4400 buy, after they got reset. There's types of rounds that will work much better in that environment, better compared to when they have whatever they want,
Yeah.
and shit like that, and sort of showing the way and kind of showing how you can condition people and that sort of a thing. I feel like that was my biggest strength at the time. So for different coaches, it can be different things. You have guys who are really into the small stuff, right? Like Emmy used to love that shit. Oh, I'm gonna find this new like one-way smoke for this
So
player,
a gimmick.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and like giving them more tricks. Or there's guys like Neo was, and you can see it even now as a coach, even when he was a player on FaZe, is really good at constructing these rounds that are a little bit more complex, right? These either double fakes and like utility heavy rounds, even if it's a half buy with pistol. That's why you see FaZe, they take a timeout, it's a half buy with nades, like they win some of those rounds, or at least they're close, they get the bomb down, like they're pretty competitive. So it's just down to people's strengths.
I like we're on the coaching topic because you might need to vindicate your boy Ronick. When I saw that kid behind you, man, the kid was like knee high to a
Well, I
grass.
mean, obviously, like there was something was supposed to happen and it fell through. No, like he wasn't.
He wasn't meant to
original
be a coach,
yeah.
was he?
No.
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 But he was there, and he looked like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
Do you think like?
I mean,
think things wouldn't have been as bad if you just had a coach for that whole cycle?
I think they would have been different for sure. I think like we tried to like make something work, before, but it couldn't happen.
The exist
and,
deal fell through.
And Ronick was like our assistant coach, and he was previously the coach of the talent team. And then he came in. I don't know how long he was there before I came, but I think for him also coaching like also all these big personalities.
Yeah, well, you're all established players.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like kind of hard for him also to
Because I think it might have,
Get in
because
there.
I don't think, as we talked about, I don't think necessarily blame is a shit player or that blah 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 blah. But if you had a coach who would be in there and say, "Listen,
A conflicting
bozo,
voice. A conflicting voice.
listen, bozo, this is too fucking slow. We're not doing this. We're not spending half of our utility to get you, motherfucker, in this one corner.
Yeah.
So, okay, you have to do this. This is what we're going to do. Blah 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 blah. Let's activate some of these other guys. And I think with the players they had, could have still been good enough to, let's say at least make the major and maybe have some results. But I think sooner or later it would have been inevitable, right? To just see that it's not working. If anything, just for the fact that Stavn and Yabi couldn't play like their natural
Yeah, and they were brought in
roles,
to
right?
be
And it's
star
worth
players.
it to make that happen, even if it meant doing all the changes that they ended up doing.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to be really callous right now, Stavn. So this is meant to come across as funny. So if it doesn't come across as funny, I apologize. I'm not trying to offend you here.
Mm-hmm.
Rank the dramas. The Hunden scenario, the J Cranny Hickey, or the Stabby scenario, which is like top 3. In what order? With 1 being the worst. Can you look at Swish?
I can.
You can't?
I can.
You can? Okay.
Of course
Alright,
I can. Of course I can.
Yeah.
I think. It's either like the Hunting or the Stabby drama.
Okay.
That's the first one for sure. It's one of those.
You probably got recency bias on the Stabby drama.
Hunden was worse.
I would say so.
Yeah,
was 1.
yeah. I was thinking of that. I'm gonna put that at 1, and then the Stabby on 2, and then the 3.
Yeah.
Well, the third one was fun.
The third one.
Yeah. I think it was just hilarious to me why he was like tweeting at Heroic.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's like, bro, what's the angle here? Like,
Well, he didn't even do anything wrong. Like, it's not your fucking responsibility. You're going to bat, mate.
Yeah.
We've all been out there before. We've been in the trenches.
Slinging the
Slinging
field.
dick.
Sometimes it gotta be done. If anything, I was like, yeah, fuck you.
Playing the pipe.
Chaz, do you think he was actually a plumber? It's all just
a code
fucking,
word.
It's
He's
a
a
code
fucking
word,
gigolo out there in Perth.
No, when I saw that, and like, mate, you had this massive hickey on your neck during the Katowice. That's the one thing you gotta say. You gotta say, listen, we can rumble, but you gotta.
Yeah.
I'm on camera.
No amount of makeup can help there. Or you have to just play with a turtleneck and then wear a jersey over it.
Yeah.
Heroic turtleneck. A new fashion accessory for teams.
Did that make the news? That made the Danish news?
Huh?
Did that?
No. I don't think so.
The yellow the tabloid.
Mate, TV2 will post anything, so I thought, maybe it would.
We've been in that studio.
Yeah, once upon a time.
Yeah, once upon
The sandwich.
I think I called them tabloid media, and they got upset at HLTV because I called them tabloid media on HLTV Confirmed podcast, and it's like an actual like.
And you're like, bro, I've been in your newsroom.
Give a fuck. It's like I'm not Danish. I'm not from there. I think the Hunden drama must have hit like a fucking truck after you guys win Cologne, and the next day it's like, well, our life.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. That was some hard times.
You want to talk about it or no?
We can. What do you want to ask about? What do you want to
Well,
talk
I
about?
don't know. Like from your perspective of it all going down, from ours looking in, we were like, because the coaching bug was a pretty big deal, right? And to think that people would kind of betray that trust, we'll never have the full story of what went on with all these coaches or any of this, but we just got what has been made available. And Hunden obviously sued ESIC, and it all got taken away and everything like that. But like in terms of
so much stuff became public even from that. I remember the Richer article with all the back and forth, the text, the email chain, and everything. Like,
who was that? Wasn't that
there
between Astralis?
there were
and Hunden,
so
though?
many layers. Yeah,
it
but the
was.
Hunden thing just kept going on for like years. It
Yeah,
kept getting
it
like
never stopped.
refreshed.
Yeah, but that means you guys just had to deal with that constantly. Like, was it something that you were able to block out?
I think like the first period was kind of hard. Also, especially because we just won Cologne, as you said, and people were like thinking like we cheated all that tournament, but he didn't even use it for that tournament. So there was like people maybe still think that
Do you think it was a little bit overblown in the end?
like the coaching bug thing.
Yeah, and also like
situation.
the abuse side
Oh.
of it in a sense, that whole thing that,
Yeah, I mean, I think that like if you also looked at like there were so many teams who used it, there were like the instances of like people in the bug, but like people were just only focusing on us, and that's obviously because we did very good, in the online era.
You were the
and
big
we just
team at the
won.
time.
We just won ESL
Yeah.
Cologne, so obviously people were thinking the worst of us,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we just got over it at some point. We just
Background noise.
just put it like us against the world, as we mentioned earlier. Just put
Hey, it
put
gave
us-
us a great storyline to build, not about the coaching bug, but like the brotherhood
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we leaned into that. We
Yeah.
were telling
Yeah,
that
we-
story
yeah.
for years, mate.
For
We
sure.
milked that shit
Yeah,
dry.
we did. We milked that real hard.
for sure.
Can you just for like the casual fans or the listeners, can you explain, like, can you put into words what it's like playing with that kind of like a baggage on your shoulder of like having that behind you? Like is it affecting your mindset? Is it like affecting practice when you go into matches? Like where is it where is it affecting you the most? Individual play, team cohesion, like what is it?
I mean, I think like right when it was happening back then with the hunting situation, it was hard. Also, like it was online. We played online, but also I remember like just in the beginning, like when you got back on lane, like people in the elevators or other like colleagues, you know, from other teams, felt maybe a bit weird, you know. Sometimes they were doing
Were they talking
bit
shit or just
no,
cold
they weren't.
shoulder?
They weren't.
Dirty looks, no conversation.
It wasn't that bad, honestly. It was just up in your head, you know, like thinking. But I wouldn't say that it like carried so much weight, that thing. But like it's you just have to focus on just playing good CS, you know, just playing the game, you know, like try and close it out. I mean, there's can be so much shit going on in your life, you know, like bad things, and sometimes can get too much. Like you need to take care of yourself as well, but it's just about you just need to block it, you know. Like sometimes you have like you slept like shit or something. Your girlfriend texts you like this is something, and you know, like, everything is like. But you need like then when you play, you need to focus. Just try and leave it behind, and just focus on the CS. But
have you had help like getting into like a mind state or how to deal with those things? Or is that something that you've just kind of learned along the way? Because I know you've got Casper with you, who was with you at Heroic, and you've had a lot of different people as part of the organizations over your tenure. Like, have you had people who are specifically there to help with that, or is that just something you've dealt? Because you've been through a lot of adversity. So if anyone has actually lived it and has not just gone to like a school and learned like the buzzwords, you've been through the shit.
Yeah, I've been getting some resources, you know, on how to handle things and stuff like that. I'm also meditating regularly.
Really?
Yeah. But it comes in periods. I'm in a good period right now, but I like to do it. Sometimes just You need
what kind of meditation? Like breathing exercises?
I'm doing like Sam Harris. He has this app called Waking Up, and he has like these daily meditations and all other like kind of seminars and stuff like that. I enjoy that a lot.
Okay.
But I mean, it's in the end, it's all really about like what if something is bothering you, like how can like can you control it? You know, like can you do anything to make it better for yourself? Like what can you do? Sometimes you also have to say like shit is shit. You know, like what can you do? You can't do anything about it. Like just take a deep breath and try and not think too much about it, because you can't do anything anyway. So that's a good mindset, I would say.
Yeah.
Janko loves the stoicism.
It's very stoic. Janko's on top of this one.
Yeah. I mean, I think of that one of the main thing about stoicism is, you know, don't stress yourself about things you can't control. Another one of my favorite ones is, you know, people suffer a lot more in imagination than they do in reality, right? Like you're thinking about the worst case scenario and you're like, oh my God, what if this, you know, happens, or, you know, and you're putting yourself through things for something that may or may not happen. And if it happens, then you deal with it when it happens with the tools that are at your disposal. If it doesn't happen, you know, nothing to worry about regardless. I think that's very powerful also, and I think it's helpful even when you talk about CS, right? Like I've seen so many players, you know, players that I've coached too, some of the best players in the world, that they just can't see the big picture. They allow themselves to be blinded by, you know, this opponent like made a stupid play, like a dumb play, and you know, that's still, you know, it's like, oh, look at what he did. And sure, it's like he made a interesting play in a reset round and killed you, and we may have lost the round because of it. And now, you know, like it sucks, but it is what it is. What are you going to do now? Like, you're going to allow that one move to ruin the next 5 rounds for you? You can't be focused. You're just going to be thinking about that. And what good comes from that? Nothing. I think it's, you know, like what you said about devices. You know, some of the best players that I see are the ones who are able to just, every round is a new round, you know. Literally it's a chance to, you know, go again, right? Like start again and do better. And I think that's the approach you have to have. especially when you're on a good team with good players, because any round is winnable. There's, like, yes, of course, if you're on an eco and have 2 USPs, a deagle and 2 P250s and 1 flash, you're gonna need a little bit of luck to win something like that. But it's doable. Like, you never know. This is the one thing that also I felt like players don't really understand. It's like, you have your own perspective, but just because what it looks like to you, that doesn't mean the other team knows it. You had this as well. Sometimes you feel like you're in a shitty position in a round. Like, as a team, you kind of aren't, you didn't take enough control, or you wasted some utility, and you feel like it's so easy to read for the opponent. Like, they're going to be waiting for you, but you don't know what they were doing. Maybe they don't have that information. Maybe they're like doing some setup, they're passive. They don't know what's coming, right? And you always have to just, under the circumstances, you do the best you can, right? And it will either work or it will not work. If it doesn't work, in any case, you're going to review after the game and we'll be able to see what was going wrong or not. But, these perspectives that, sometimes you have, and it's like, oh, this is so bad. Like, I had a player say in the middle of a round, like, round is going on, you're playing a LAN tournament, and it's like, this is so bad. It's like, what does that mean? How does that help anything? It's like a 4v4 or something, and we're kind of a little bit stuck in the round. It's like, well, just shut the fuck up, let the in-game leader call something, do your fucking best, and move on. Let's go. It's next round comes up.
You got a pretty, like, that's when I'm hearing you say that, it's like a 30,000 foot view of like playing pro Counter-Strike. Like, when I was playing, it felt like every time I got a chance to play international Counter-Strike was like the last time. Not because I was worried about like getting cut or anything. It's just we weren't good enough to always be in all the tournaments.
Yeah.
It's like each opportunity was that chance where the pressure felt so high that you had to kind of prove yourself every time. And that, whereas talking about it from that perspective, I understand this is an experience. This is a thing you're building to this. We never like had that, which, when you're talking about it here, that's the way you'd want to be able to look at it.
And it's wild. I was in this weird spot where I was joining teams, right, that had really good players, but they had a bit of a...
They were fucked in the head.
Yes, they had like a backwards way of thinking, and just because they were behaving or doing shit in a certain way and they were winning tournaments, they thought like, oh yeah, they could do that forever. That wasn't the problem when they stopped winning. Like,
it's
something
not evolution.
else, something else was the problem, right? And you could see so much of that, right? Like the frustration. Something that I also hated was in practice, right? Like, you play, all kinds of teams, tier 3 teams, sometimes CIS teams that always have an interesting way of playing scrims, right? And then all the bitching and moaning. Like,
why has he done that?
Look what this guy is doing. And so what? So what's the goal here? Like, you're going to bitch and moan about this because he'll never do it in a game. And then you play against fucking Art tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who's doing that exact same shit all the time. What are you going to do? You're going to bitch and complain as well about him after we lose and like, yeah, that's not proper. I don't care, man. Like, I want to not lose to it, right? Like, do you guys not have that? Like, or is it still like sometimes it slips through the cracks?
Astralis is in that honeymoon. They don't have that yet. It's coming.
Wait, say one more time. Sorry.
Like when people are just...
You play in pracs and people do something like fucking stupid, and the team goes, "Oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. He'll never
this
do
team
that."
is shit.
What a dumb cunt move.
Sure. We have that. We have that a lot. Maybe sometimes it's a bit too much, but yeah.
Who's your favorite teammate you've played with of all time, over any team?
Favorite teammate? I would have to say Casper still.
That's an olive branch, Katie.
Yeah.
You know what that is, Katie? And that's an olive branch. That's
2 little doves flying around it as well.
That's an olive branch,
2 little
mate.
doves.
Okay, and least favorite? No. No, but let's say like a nemesis. Is there any like player you don't like playing clutches against, or like going head to head with in positions and shit? Or you don't give a fuck?
I mean, maybe a bit of Dunk right now. I played him once, but I mean, he's pretty good. Other than that, I mean, sometimes Robs has been really annoying to play against.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just like in the late rounds.
Yeah. Just like he's just always dragging time out, like always dragging the time out.
I feel like Rops is the guy you always feel like you're like 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
And then you just lose regardless, and you're like, what the fuck? This is me. What's your take on Dunk? Just like in terms of like why he's like he was so good in Katowice specifically, but just like such a tough player to deal with. Yeah, just because like if you watch his gameplay, like it's not always something special. Like sometimes he's just running out in the open and killing shit. And when I see it as a caster, I'm like, but he's just running out into the open and killing shit. You know, like what's your take on him as a player?
I think they have a really good system.
Pulling nades out in a 2v2. Jesus Christ, just have your gun out.
Sorry, it's getting intense over here. Over time.
You were saying
about Dunk now.
About Dunk.
I mean, I think they have a really good system, and I think Chopper is a great like captain and game leader. It seems like he's always been playing solid CS. And I think he just like has so much confidence, you know. Like
Dunk.
He just like breathes confidence, you know. You can just see on him like he doesn't care who he's playing. He's just enjoying CS.
Yeah.
I think this goes back to what you were saying before about like playing a game and make sure you don't have like that worried feeling in your gut. You think Donk doesn't have.
No, I think he's just like he's just.
How old is he now? He's like 17.
17. He's just fucking destroying.
Living the dream.
Yeah,
he's like the kid who doesn't know the fucking stove's hot.
Yeah. Until he burns his hand.
Yeah, he hasn't burned his hand.
I feel like the way it just feels like he's just played so much more CS2 than anyone else, you know. He just, the way he moves, like in game, the movement, like he's so hard to kill, it feels like. He's just
interesting.
Do you
feels like he's just moving and shooting sometimes, you know. It goes so fast. He's so fast.
Do you still have that hunger, like to grind pugs and shit all day long, or are you at that point now where you're like, yeah, I'll rock it for prac, I'll still play a little bit outside of prac, but you know?
No, I would say I'm still grinding some Faceit. I like playing Faceit as well. I think that's the main thing I play.
You play like device with Danish stacks?
Yeah.
You guys are fucking dogs. You go against them, man.
What do you mean you play with your Australian stack?
They're fucking all professional players.
But they're better. That's the problem. They're better.
And they're all from different teams. Device said they just have this team speak and they just people go in there and there's enough to make 5 they fucking play.
Yeah.
And they're all professional Counter-Strike players.
Yeah. You did that when you were a professional?
Yeah, but fucking days. Not only do they run at you and headshot you, they know all the nades too. It's like the worst. It's not like your bunch. Your bunch will only run at you. Like you play against the guys from Yango's part of the world. They don't know the fucking nades. They're just gonna swing. Your guys know all the nades and are gonna push you. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it is.
My guys just know all the nades.
You can't swing, but we got the nades.
Look, if we can set Justin up for 40 kills, we might win this game.
No, the worst moment for me was once against some Danish stack. It had some like pro players in it because I was in like a high elo stack too. Obviously my mechanics are really shit. So it was this like really depressing moment where we were playing Train. Oh, what? He had a chance? That was like a wonderful.
He got the guy in CT.
Yeah.
Oh, he did? He did? Oh, yeah. That
and
looks sick.
we started CT and we lost like whatever, 10 to 12-3 as CT on Train. You know, we were just getting owned. And then we move on to the T side and we're doing the pistol and whatever. A couple of guys die and we're like in whatever, 2v5 or 2v4. And the guys are not even like shooting. They're just jumping around the map. Like they're just jumping towards me, like bunny hopping. They're not trying to kill me. Well, not even to
They're trying to make him miss so they can ultra shame.
See how long it will take for me to kill them. It took... I'm still trying to get those kills. I'm like, this is the most humiliating like point of everything I've experienced in Counter.
I do this thing though. If you ever come against me, I have the enemy team muted, so I'll talk shit, like really timid shit, like, you know. But I will not see what anybody says back, so I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll just like talk smack, and because like I know I'm bad, right? So I don't mind. I just like I'll give a couple jabs here or there. Okay, so you're still grinding Faceit, still playing some games like that. All right.
Do you get a lot of shit talkers against you? Do you
in Faceit?
Yeah, you know people try hard.
Yeah, like when they see Stavn out of the server, it's fucking try hard.
Yeah, it's like 50-50, you know.
Are you ever sat there just like, I wish I could just play a relaxed, chill game of Counter-Strike, but everyone's gonna try so fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's too much, but it's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Who's the worst country to play against? I hate it when I'm playing against the 120 ping Russians.
Yeah.
They're playing from Siberia. They're wide.
And they're still
that Don country.
Yeah, exactly.
Don country.
Yeah.
I've been Germans as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They have 5 ping.
Yeah,
They get the
and they
Germans
also just try hard with nades, like more than Danish, honestly. So
Really?
yeah, I feel like at least
Okay.
sometimes you can meet a brutal German stack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I've come up against like from like big academy, those type of players and stuff like Arrow and that kind of shit. It's fucking wild. That's the one thing I haven't been doing. We've been like normally when I'm home, I'll play a lot of Face It with the guys, and now I haven't played any Counter Strike at all. The only Counter Strike I played was the game we played yesterday.
I haven't played too much either.
I gotta get back.
I was telling Harry I'm going to start instigating some 5 stacks this coming week.
The thing is, it's like we'd be late at night. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we can edit this out. We don't really edit anything out here. You're hanging around in Malta.
Yes.
Yeah, you and Device.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't going home to Denmark for the next week. You gonna practice from here?
Yeah. We're gonna practice from here.
Is the whole team staying, or just you two?
No, just me and him.
Okay.
Yeah. So is that because you can't be fuck getting on the plane?
What?
You can't be fuck getting on the airplane, or why are you hanging around?
But if can't get what?
It's too annoying to get on the plane.
Sorry, I realized I just went Aussie.
Yeah.
This the 1.5 beers. You cannot be bothered to fly back to Denmark.
No, I'm with my girlfriend here.
Ah, so he can be fucked.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna. Okay, nice. All right. Well, that's pretty nice. You can go to the letter. You know, I don't know if
see
it's
the
swimming.
sights.
You could swim. You could swim at the moment.
It's not boat weather.
It's not boat weather. You can swim. We'll go tomorrow.
How warm is the water? You think?
Warm enough. I went swimming in January.
How much do you think? Like 15?
15, 16. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's all right.
It'll be a bit chilly when you just get in,
Yeah.
and then you'll get
It's
used
an
to
ice
it.
bath.
The bigger problem is when you get out of the water.
It's good. It's good.
If it's windy, like that's what fucks you up. Like in the water, you're okay, but as soon as you get out,
Actually, really, the problem here in Malta is the fucking rocks because they're all slippery as shit.
Yes.
You better be careful getting out of that water.
There's a couple beaches. So what are you going to do for the week? You got practice every day, I imagine.
Off day tomorrow,
Because they
next
travel.
day.
Yeah.
And then practice.
Okay. What's a practice day look like? How many hours?
What is it? It's like from 10 to like 18:30.
So 10 is like start of theory or prax?
Or it's like 10:30 maybe. Yeah, 10:30 to 18:30-ish.
Okay. That's
So
pretty
8
reasonable.
hours. That's a work day.
Yeah.
with a break in there.
Yeah.
With a break in there.
So a lot of theory, I imagine.
Yeah, some theory. Also, just if we're practicing from home, we'll have some online Discord with the cameras, you know.
Oh, really?
To make sure everyone's up
Hello.
and about.
Yeah. Not someone with like closed eyes, just got up out the bed.
So when you're doing
playing a
the
fun
theory,
game.
you do Discord with webcam. So
No, we just check in, say hi, and get, like coffee and chill, like send some memes, you know, and then we start the theory.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice. At least it's got the personal element.
Yeah, you got to send some memes.
Okay.
That'll make everything a little bit easier.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, and then you practice, and then, well, we spoke about it before. Ancient seems to be the go-to pick map for you guys at the moment.
It's a good map.
How do you like the map pool? There's a lot of conversation
Yeah.
with Dust 2 coming in that the
You
map
guys
pool's
didn't play
shit.
Dust 2 as heroic.
No, not in heroic. No, that's true. But I've personally always enjoyed it.
Okay.
I mean, it's random, but I like the map.
A lot of places to slide into gaps and
Yeah,
find some
yeah.
weaknesses in the defense.
I mean, I think it will be good for us. Also, the device with the orb, just so much impact on us too. Always had.
Yeah, he's always been. a
You
Dust
worked out
2
who's
guy.
anchor and pit? Is it Bro or is it Staehr?
We'll see. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you probably shouldn't give that information away until you played an official.
Yeah, I don't know. Played Face the other night and played against Duncan Shiro.
Of course you
on Dust too.
How'd that go?
we pretty comfortable win, but we were also 4 Astralis players playing.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about it because like one of you or Yabby is going to be the A rotator for sure, and then the other one will be the B rotator. Also, yeah, maybe you'll be the B rotator because of secondary orb.
Maybe could be.
Because double orb.
Oh, you don't double off an MR12 though.
Why not?
The economy's so busted.
What about
That's-
Anubis?
That's such a risk.
What? Oh, you guys don't play Anubis.
No, we don't
Try to
play.
refresh
Or do
the
we?
fucking
Oh.
stream, bro.
Why? If I refresh it now, we might miss the skit.
It's 21:20
They're 2 rounds out.
on HLTV.
All right, well, fucking hell. I'm trying, Yanko, man.
Fuck's sake.
Get the
I
important
just
shit
wanted
in
to
there.
open to see what happened like the last round because a player was getting really hyped up.
But what do you think about the map pool overall?
Yeah, they
Do
won a
you-
3. They won a 2v5.
Do you miss Overpass already?
I think Overpass was a good map, to be honest. Bit different from the other maps. A bit more like have to be a bit more strategic maybe compared to the other maps.
Definitely different.
Yeah.
Mm. I
For sure
think
different. Not necessarily in a good way.
I don't think. I mean, I miss Overpass already. I miss Train as well.
Yeah, Trainees.
Train
I would really like
Train's a
Train
cool
back.
map, yeah.
I would really like that back.
It needs some changes to it.
Train for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple because I think it was pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, and,
Well-
I mean, I don't know about Anubis. I've maybe practiced a little bit just for fun sometimes, but I don't know my opinion on it, to be honest. Played and face it sometimes, but it feels like it's really T-sided.
I think you guys as heroic would have been great at it because
Yeah,
of how proactive.
Yeah,
you
I
needed to
think
be.
so. I think so as well.
Always moving, always
Yeah,
doing something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whereas like Astralis, I'm sure that it could be the same, but I think G2 a very strong Anubis CT side team. I think they're probably the best Anubis CT side team in the world.
Vitality.
Vitality think are better?
I mean, the way G2 played Anubis against who was their last opponent before M80? Falcons. I think that CT side was insane.
But they normally play a strong CT side. They would go double AWP. Surely they don't lose this. There it is. Okay, finally.
Bang.
Okay. Well, when it goes to break, I'm gonna put the volume on so we can watch this.
Yeah.
So I don't we're not gonna ESL aren't gonna take down our YouTube video.
Hopefully.
They won't. They're gonna be nice to us. They'll keep it there.
Yeah.
They'll be nice to us. So this skit, right? Two of your boys went and filmed it.
Sure.
This is a brainchild of Mr. Harry Russell. So when we come into Pro League, we as like members of the broadcast, we tend to have a lot more like, I don't want to say, but that's essentially it, right? We're more involved into the process with the skits, with the live show and everything like that. So Harry and Hugo with like two other blokes, like Rush the Observer, he does like skits and stuff as well. People are coming up with all these ideas and we try and execute on them. And this next one, it's a Lord of the Rings parody.
Yeah.
You seen Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I have, but it's like so long ago, and I'm like, I don't.
I need to watch that again.
Nico's
Yeah,
back.
I need to
Next
really, I
long
really
flight.
need to watch it again.
Next
I
long
really,
flight, yeah.
I really need to watch
back.
it again.
Nico's back?
He got an ace in a 2v5 and then a 4K in the next round.
Do you think I can get a cigarette before we start?
I don't know when it's going to start, but
it's gonna start now.
it's going to
I
play.
think it's a break first, then it's going.
It's going to play soon. But you can go have a cigarette. I think I can pause it. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I need a cigarette.
We'll talk about something.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
I usually do.
Bro, I was watching a little bit of the player counts for this like G2 M80 game, and Nico was getting like really pumped. I think like they really didn't want to lose this map. Like,
you
I
don't
know.
want to lose to them, right?
Well, of course, but I don't know. They were just something like, especially because it's Ancient. They got banged out on Ancient the first time they played them,
Yeah.
and now they were in the lead. Then it goes to overtime. Then probably it was, what was the score? 22-20. That's
Triple overtime.
Three
triple overtime.
Yeah.
No,
First one goes to 15, second one goes to 18,
18,
third
and
one
then
goes
it
to
was
21 or 22.
That was wild. Though even the Inferno was close. Like that was G2's pick. They won it in OT last time.
So is it Inferno again? I guess
Yeah, it's Inferno again. It's the same map pool. Yeah. I don't know. I thought there's a chance G2 might switch it up and pick Anubis, but because of how the Falcons game went too. But
maybe they just want to exert dominance. So like, we'll beat you on the same fucking maps all over again.
there's no that. That doesn't exist. It's always like just what gives us the best chance to win. Nothing else really matters.
Well, there wasn't that at the major.
How do you think the podcast is going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I'm just a little bit scared if he's like too far from the mic or if he's.
No, it's all right.
It's all right.
I've
Yeah, I
been
saw
on
you.
it,
You're. I saw you were like.
We got AI.
You're on it.
And the AR will bring his level up too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if he said he was going to go for a smoke on the podcast, then I can ask him about smoking.
Okay. Does it pause right now?
No, we're
Okay.
Ah,
We're
all
live.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would that have been a problem otherwise? Like,
Well, like I don't know. Some of the players they don't like, talk about it that they smoke. Get ready to pause it, Jason. Not yet.
I don't know if it's gonna play straight away.
It's going to play. I reckon it's going to
It's
play.
going to play. If they put a countdown 1.5 minutes,
Yeah, because
Here we are. Jason's
FPS
carry arms.
dysfunction. Yeah. You like
wait,
those
we don't have to
sounds?
pause it. He's back.
Yeah, he's back. So just turn it up.
Turn the volume up.
Well, it's not. We don't know it's there yet.
Well, I reckon it's coming. We've done some random shit over the years, haven't we?
We have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. You're like,
What a catalog.
I forgot most of these skits over the years. Most of these things.
Yeah. But there's some great stuff. Oh, Valve didn't like that one.
no,
Valve really didn't like that skit. They didn't like this one
this
either.
is so funny now.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Justin, man. All right.
Yeah, this was the no Crocs.
No
Oh
Crocs
yeah, we
involved
banned Crocs.
Yep.
Oh, fucking
fuck.
hell. For fuck's
Oh,
sake.
Bloody Aussies.
God.
These
damn it.
fucking conky and elfish guy. This better be quick, boys.
It's an update.
Yeah, a
from
quick
Melbourne.
check-in.
Melbourne's over. MIBR won.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just like doing that. And they got a spot in next Pro League. That's why they're doing this.
Oh, that's a good crossover. Yeah. Insani's a good player. I think he's a good player.
Insani is a good player.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, he's good.
So is Biggie Zera.
Yeah,
Okay.
Biggie Zera, Insani, Quesarado,
Lato,
and an Orba.
and QZ can't be
There you
anyone
go.
else.
That's the team. You reckon
Fallen.
Lato over
Or
Zuma?
Story. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to take him from the team. Oh, over Aurora. And the Rebels. These guys are apparently cheaters, right? The Rebels?
I haven't heard that.
Oh, it wasn't like Olymp and stuff like accused.
Yeah, maybe.
Bro, it's funny because they were the Orcs when they were
Oh,
at
that's
Pro
right.
League.
Yeah, yeah.
And I asked them, what's the, are you guys Warcraft fans? Where does the name come from? They straight up said, no, we were like at a tournament or something, and there was a thread on HLTV, or like someone sent a comment that Olymp looks like an orc.
Holy shit.
And then we just said, okay, that's
We're
gonna
the
be
orcs.
our team
Yeah,
name.
we're leaning into it.
BM
the
as
orcs.
fuck, of course. We got Bad News Kangaroos and FlyQuest.
There were so
here
many
next
bad
week.
teams.
How many skits have you been part of, Sam? How many skits have we put you in over the years?
Only one, I think.
Only one.
We gotta
Like
get
a
him in
skit.
more.
Like,
Get you
yeah,
in
only
more.
one skit.
What kind of an actor are you? Dramatic? Are you sad? Comedy? What are we working with here?
I'm down for anything. I'm
Okay.
down for anything.
He's in for anything.
All right, well, then we don't have to typecast him. We can
Yeah,
get
no,
him
we
involved
don't.
in anything. Yeah,
Just-
that's
yeah.
nice.
You may not like where you get put.
yeah,
I'm typecasted as the bald guy. Whenever a character is bald in anything, I
You could have a hair transplant like me.
couldn't.
It worked well. It worked wonders. I've got so much hair.
Mm.
Look, it's all back. You wouldn't even know.
Baron Harkonnen.
In this, it has to be next. If they don't play it, I'm going to be so sad. We've
We've been hyping it up all day. They have to play it during
Fuck's
this
sake.
break. It's fun. They're gonna play. There's 9 minutes left. There's 9 minutes with which they can play.
probably about 3 minutes skit.
It's more. It's 4.
It's more?
It's 4 minutes.
Shit, Yanko's
Yeah.
fucking got the timing down pat. Some of the stuff that people, you guys were making clay shit. It's like you went out for
What did you
school
What did you
excursion or
make
some
that day?
shit.
You make a ashtray?
What? I should have. I think Magisk made an ashtray actually.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might have got more use.
What did I make? I think I just made a plate
Another beer
of some kind.
plate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yanko.
No worries, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, fuck's sake! Just play the
Play
fucking skit.
skit, man.
I know we're just in limbo on this podcast now, waiting
But
for Lord of
that's
the Rings skit.
it's like it's good. I reckon it's the best skit ASL made.
Ever.
The best
It's
skit.
very,
The
it
best
very
skit.
well might be. Yeah.
It's probably the best skit
I think there are some good ones.
in
I like the
all of Counter Strike over the years. Probably.
I like the what is it called? The one with the Patrick Bateman,
American Psycho.
American Psycho.
That was
with
recorded
the,
here.
With not the
crosshair one?
the murder or the X one. That was good as well. That was one here. No?
the crosshair.
and then but I like the crosshair ones. That
Crosshair
was,
ones,
yeah,
with the card.
yeah, that's
We did that
really
in
funny.
online.
That's really funny.
online era.
That was a wild.
And
You
then-
guys really peaked during the online era.
yeah, and then the latest skit is really good as well with the Falcon one.
And you said
that's-
let's
that's
never in
so
Counter
good.
Strike
That's so
second
good.
to the Flashpoint content, please. Let's
we didn't know what to do.
let's not forget about that.
Like we didn't know what to do for like the changing mouse, and I came into TeamSpeak one day, and Rush and Frank were talking. And I was like, "What if we just say change accent?" And they're like, "Yeah, no." So we ran with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They said, "No."
Oh, they didn't. they're not
Why
gonna-
didn't they not?
I
play
thought
the
you
skit?
had the intel.
Why did they not play the skit?
Oh no,
I'm
it's ruined
furious.
everything.
They
It's
didn't play
ruined,
the-
it's
he's
ruined
gonna
Chad's
call-
night.
He's calling the CEO.
Yeah.
Why did we not play the skit?
Wait, okay, never mind.
Wait, I'm gonna play the Lord of Skins skit in the ad break, not during the post map. So it goes directly. Huh?
Okay, so he's gonna play it now.
No, I think they've already played it.
No, we would have seen it.
I'm gonna play the Lord of the Rings skit after the ad break, not during the post map. So it goes direct. Oh, so it's coming after this.
Yeah, so
coming in-
now
in 3
should be
minutes.
now.
Okay.
All right. Well, you said on the podcast that you were going for a cigarette, so you don't mind talking about smoking.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I keep doing these things where I think he's gonna hate me after I say what I'm gonna say.
I know, but you keep qualifying it before you say anything,
Yeah,
so
then
you're
he
okay.
can't hate
Yeah,
me.
you're all
It's
good.
like
yeah.
saying no offense, but
yeah.
But you were. I remember this is the bit when that Pro League season when I first saw you and you're only 17. You were smoking back then. You got on the ciggies early, mate. What happened?
It's just Denmark.
It's just Denmark.
It's just that I blame the country.
Okay. Why? Because
He was getting second place in every
Because
tournament.
I don't know, just drinking culture, you know, and like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how early were you drinking?
I think maybe when I was like late 13, 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Got my first couple of beers.
Okay.
Respectable.
But that's even good for Serbian standards. That's strong. That's strong. You were like, you would fit right in the Balkans, mate.
Yeah.
You know, no problem.
I was like such a pussy, right, growing up, because my parents, like, I was.
What a statement.
I was.
just such a pussy growing up.
My parents instilled this like thing in me that if I ever did anything wrong, the world would end. Right, like you couldn't do anything wrong. It was the worst if you did anything wrong, right? And I remember one of my first events was like a national. So you'd fly from Perth to like Sydney or Melbourne.
Yeah, it says on the lower third. Sorry, an unexpected journey begins after the break.
Oh, nice. That's good. That's good. It's like a 4 or 5 hour flight, right, from Perth to over to the other side of the country. So it's a big deal for like a 15-year-old kid. And my parents wanted to meet my teammates before I went, which I was so embarrassed about. I was like, Mom and Dad, like, you don't
First
have to
day of school all over
you know?
again.
And they were all older than me.
Yeah.
But they essentially, they all went out to, they're all 18. And they all went out to like a bar or whatever to have some drinks. And I kind of tagged along as this little 15-year-old kid. And they were like, Chad, have you ever had alcohol? I was like, no. And they're like, oh, you're going to do a tequila shot. And if you don't, we're going to lock you in a locker. And I was like, well, I guess I have to do this fucking tequila shot. I remember just spilling half of the tequila shot like all down me like a fucking dope or whatever.
Well, tequila's rough if you go in dry.
Yeah, it's like, I'll never tell mum and dad about any of this. But no, it's just like, that's the type of kid I was.
Which is kind of we only have 40 seconds, but I think that's the wrong way to go about it, because in terms of parenting, right? Because then you're like, ooh, you know, this is so terrible. It's so, my parents can't know about this. You don't want your kid to hide shit from you. Like, it's better to just say, hey, you know, be upfront and let's, you know, it's better to know, even if it's something, as if like having a drink is fucking bad, you know, but whatever it is, it's better to know about it and be able to talk to your parents about it than to live in fear of them because you've done a terrible thing.
If you had a conversation with your mum when you were quite young about like, hey, support me, was your pretty open relationship?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the way I've been raised has always been like, I always had this feeling that I was able to do more stuff than my like friends.
Yeah.
Where I feel like my household has always been very like
the cool house.
You can just do whatever you want, Martin.
Okay.
You know, like go live and figure things out on your own. You know.
No.
Okay, let's go.
Here we go.
Whose eyes fixed on Malta, his strength will return. Astralis stands upon the brink of domination. No one will escape it. You will unite, or you will fall. Looking forth the mouse, Sensu.
Of course, they made the Mongols the fucking hobbits.
It is a gift to the foes of spirit. Why not use this mouse? Long has my cousin, the steward of G2, kept the force of spirit at bay, by blood's hands, by lower lands, kept safe. Giving G2 the weapon of the prodigy. Let us use it against him.
You cannot wield it. None of us can. The one mouse answers to
The next line's so good.
It has no mouse.
And what will the 0.9?
This is known me as 0.9. Carrigon, first son of Sonic Thon. You owe him your allegiance.
Carrigon? This is Thor's Bane?
And heir to the throne of G2. Set the low, Douglas.
There's no king. G2 needs no king.
Carrigon is right. I cannot use it.
Jam.
This is so good as well.
What are we waiting for?
The master is son of Pronas, many skilled heroes. The mouse was forged in the fires of Vertigo. Only there can it be unmade.
The music is really good.
Yeah.
And cast back into the endless shadow.
Look at the CGI, bro.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
So good.
One must do this.
does not simply walk into my field.
Never again. What about train? I'll cover. What does too?
Does too. It's a wooden case regarded for more than just stops.
Have you heard nothing what Maniac said? It must be dirty though, if the mouse is to be destroyed. I suppose you really want to do it. Oh, idea? What's next? CEO? Should be flat. The thing can be in the hands of sleep.
Sounds so.
Oh, dear.
That was good.
It's so fire.
Twitch chat are loving it. Twitch chat are going nuts.
Twitch chat really appreciating it.
Yeah, that's great.
Lord of the Rings always lands.
Oh man, like the people we have who work on this stuff, like we come up with skit ideas, and occasionally we get a little bit of pushback. You know,
Yeah.
right? But the stuff that they come up with, like this stuff, they were doing I won't spoil it. We'll talk about it later. But we're doing some more stuff as well, and
And we have some wild things planned for the next 3 days.
the people fucking like love it. Like the people at home love that type of shit. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, it is. It
think-
is really good.
Also for people at home to give some insight, right? So you guys see this, and this is not filmed with everyone there at the same time, right? The way this is filmed is teams have different slots for media day. They go from one thing to the next, so you keep it moving and
Yeah.
you maximize the time, right? So what happened was you would have only the G2 guys there, right?
Yeah.
So Nico would have to record all of his lines
Mm.
just by himself, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the
yeah.
reactions for him. Then Astralis, right? Device comes and all of that. So someone has to think, and there's really talented people working on this, right? Like, how is it all going to be edited together, right? So you have to think about which way does he have to turn, you know, and then to place the other person there. And even Harry was saying like, oh, I don't know how it's going to end up, right? Like,
He was worried because the Mongolian guy, the Mongols players, they didn't have their jerseys, so that's why they had to put them in the little Hobbit capes. They weren't originally going to do that. It was just going to be the Mongols jerseys.
Oh.
And I was
This
like,
is even
I
a
know,
good
it
touch.
actually
That's a
turned
good
out
touch.
great.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then when he saw the editor actually do his magic and put it all together, like that's when you see.
Oh,
that it's
editors
really
are the
sick.
fucking kings.
So it's hard, like, because you're doing like and you don't have a chance to reshoot it or anything. Like
Yep.
it has to be just that time that you do it. It has to all work out. And man, this one was sick. Especially, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah,
so
I'm too.
anything related to that.
We got to get Stavn in more skits. We were talking. He's only
Yeah.
been in one.
Yeah, yeah.
He's only been in one.
The priest one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
confessional, the
Yeah,
Cologne
yeah,
confessional.
Father, yeah.
What was your confession? I don't remember that one.
What I can't even remember what it was.
Okay, so it was good. Yeah, it was really good.
Mine was. I think we've done several of those, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think I was part of one of those.
You were the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And give
Really
up the bag.
playing
not
into
give up
those
the
tropes.
bag.
Mine was a bold joke.
Classic.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
ever
it's
get
classic.
sick of those? Or?
Yeah.
No, never, man. I was just keep them coming.
I don't
Keep 'em
attack
coming.
you about those, Jason. I never.
I
do.
know you don't. I don't hold you in that same category as the others are in.
No, I know how much it hurts.
I've appreciated that
Yeah.
from you.
I'm a bold man with hair. You know, that's what I am. I'm a bold man with hair.
Does your family have male pattern baldness in the gene pool?
I actually need to go and check again. How is my dad? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Alright.
I hope not.
It can be pretty scary, man.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to do the hair transplant. Like you can actually I just put this shit in my hair every night before I go to bed. If I did it early enough, like if I
Yeah.
did it in my late 20s or early 30s, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Would have been fine. I waited too long. And then I had to have this whole surgery and shit. Dude, I was there, right? So they have to inject your head with anesthesia, right? And then for the next couple of days, while I sit on this very couch right here, you have to sleep sitting up
Okay.
because your back of your head is a wound. The anesthesia is coming down, right? And the first place that it will try and come out of is your eyes. So you have to do this, like windscreen fucking wipers, to push the anesthesia around your eyes, because if it comes out your eyes, it stings.
What the fuck,
Now,
bro? This
yeah.
sounds so
It's
terrifying.
fucked. So, like, if you notice a
think
little bit of
just
you
go
know,
bald.
You look great. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be fine
Jason's a
with that.
braver man than me.
No,
Like I just said, I grew up like a pussy. I still am.
Wait, again, as I said previously as well, I was a poorer man at the time I went bald than you were. If I had had the money at the time, I probably would have gone for the
You
transplant.
can still do it.
I'm good.
I don't.
Yeah,
I see.
I think if I show up at a tournament with a full head of hair next time around, that'd be a bit.
Yeah, he's been bald.
I've been bald for too long. It's gone now.
It's too late. It's too late.
But you said you're buying an apartment. Do you drive?
I don't drive.
No?
No,
You
I
don't want to drive, or you don't?
I mean, I want to. I think as the time goes by, I want it more and more, but it's not like I really need to have a driver's license.
Yeah, with our lifestyle, with the amount we travel.
This is what Jason's hair used to look like.
Oh, he's got.
Can you believe it?
Wow, he had pulled that up quick.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yanko, what are you using that picture for?
He's the same guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or here.
We had a.
That's crazy that you can lose that much hair.
That is crazy.
Oh, thanks, guys. Here we
Jason,
are.
I'm with you. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's all
I don't feel like
Life at that time was too easy,
I bet.
Yeah.
They needed to throw some.
I needed a handicap,
Yeah.
All right, so no car, no driving, so you're not going to do a Rops Porsche. You're buying an apartment or a house.
Apartment.
Yeah. What other things are you interested in? Like, are you just like most of us in the Counter-Strike world, the only thing that gets you out of bed is Counter-Strike, or do you have other things that drive you?
I've never really played that many other like video games. I've played like
Classic. I love
some
it.
FIFA,
Good for you.
a bit, and Diablo. That's it.
Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And the new ones suck, so there's no way you're getting addicted to those.
It will never be as good as it was when we were kids.
No.
No, I heard like Diablo 2 was the shit.
Oh, well,
My brothers played that.
Diablo 2
and
was
they-
fun.
I played it a bit as well. I liked it, but I played a lot of Diablo 3. I
Yeah.
think that was okay.
Diablo
as
3
well.
was okay.
I think it was nice. I mean, at least when I played that a lot. But other than that, I think I like chess and poker. Chess and poker.
So other games of a similar, because we've had in the past, there was a Counter-Strike 1.6 player, 1.5 as well, Canadian bloke. His name was Shagua. He became a professional poker player.
Trip as well.
Oh yeah. Like poker and Counter-Strike players seems to go hand in hand. Same as chess these days. Chess has really had a resurgence.
Blitz plays chess.
Yeah, we had Blitz play Henry the other day in chess
oh,
live
is
on
Blitz
stream.
the one with like insanely high elo?
Yeah, he's
or like,
Grandmaster.
Yeah.
that's really
he's just a
master.
not
yeah, but that's really cool anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
sweet.
sick. That's pretty sick. Not gonna-
It's like if you get outplayed by that guy in game, you can't be mad.
No, yeah, you're right. I get it, yeah.
All right.
It's crazy how good Blitz is, like individually as well as in-game leading. Like he's pretty strong individually. I think.
Yeah, he is. He's
Yeah.
got some game.
Okay, so
I think it's crazy they just keep finding players out of Mongolia.
oh yeah, apparently Mazinho, we learned this today, is Bartak's brother.
Apparently.
okay.
Didn't know that. Yeah.
No.
I mean, they've given an interview where they said basically their scouting is they just go to like the different LAN cafes around town and just watch people play. And like whenever small tournament goes on, if like 4 teams, they'll just go and see if there's anyone there worth noting down, and then you just have to hope they develop into something. But,
Mazinho had a very good game today. Even though they lost on Mirage, he had a very good game today when we were casting on
I like seeing him do well because like his first like month in Mongols, and you watch him was like he's
Pretty
fish
rough.
fish out of water.
He's 16.
Yeah, he's
Like,
super
he's
young.
A fucking
Yeah,
baby.
super young.
He's a baby. Okay, so you're not into any sports. You're not doing any of that stuff.
I mean, I like football. Like
Handball, of course, in Denmark, no?
I've never really
Not
been,
your thing?
Not been
Okay,
into
okay.
it. I like just football, regular football. I've always been a fan of Barcelona. Not too good now, but just like Messi, always been.
When you started following them, what was it Messi, Ronaldinho, Eto'o, or was it after that? Was it the
I mean, I remember watching like Eto'o and Ronaldinho briefly, like those times, but I was not that old. But yeah, it just comes from my brother and family, or father again. Like it was just like Barcelona, Messi. So yeah.
All right. What about this? Astralis don't have a gear sponsor, right? You guys aren't sponsored by a peripheral company.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, you are.
Logitech.
Okay. Well, I can't ask you what gear you use then, can I? Oh, I tried.
No,
Unless
you did your best.
Logitech.
Unless you use a Logitech gear, so why not? Everyone likes the super light. I don't know. You got
Just-
fucking-
I haven't tried the second generation of it, the second gen,
I haven't touched it either.
but I used the first gen.
There's a problem. You can't say what it uses.
I know.
You can just watch the stream.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of you notice with pros, the thing that they're looking at is when they get their cam shots up is what gear is being used, right? Because I remember I was talking to Azza when Katowice was on, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Nico changed mouse 3 times in 3 days." I was like, "Bro, I didn't fucking notice that." He's like looking at the mouse that Nico's using every day. Like for me, it's like,
I don't look at that shit.
no, me either.
No.
Me either. But yeah, I think like there's some crazy gear out now, like in terms of
Boros gets all that hate, and Nico's out here just swapping mice.
yeah, but Boros.
Fuck off.
Let's not pretend it's the same thing. Let's not pretend it's the same thing. That Boros situation, we've all played with players like that. Imagine the guy who's he misses the shot, and instead of calling the info, he goes, "Oh, my fucking mouse." That guy, I hate that guy. I hate that guy more than
I'm just fucking around.
that's the worst.
I'm with you.
That's the worst guy.
Yeah.
Call the info, motherfucker. I don't want to hear about your fucking mouth.
And then cuss everyone out.
Yeah, then do it with your muted mic.
That would be for the best.
You had any teammates in the past that were tilting on mic?
Oh, how can
I
you
mean,
not?
there has been some, but I feel like most understand that is not the way to go. So no, I don't feel like too much. Like it is like you say, like the worst habit is like when you like first whine or like, oh, he's so shit, one monster or something like that, you know? Like that's the worst. You need to have the communication instant. Especially like practice, that's where it's like bad. Sometimes I'm good at it as well. Like when you die, you whine. Like you say something like, fuck, it's something, you know, something, and then you give the info. Yeah, it's just a bad habit.
Yeah. Okay. Do you hang out with like Danish Counter-Strike players, like for your get-togethers and stuff? Like, so, like, I'm asking a question about socializing, which is something I never do.
Do you guys have like a Danish Counter-Strike social club?
I mean, I think some do. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I see my teammates sometimes, but it's not like. I think some has. I mean, I don't.
Bit of family and girlfriend and everything like that.
What?
Bit more of just the family and the girlfriend and everything like that.
Yeah.
Real life friends outside of
I mean,
Counter-Strike.
with how much there's travel and all this shit, you know, like you really appreciate the time that you can actually properly spend with your family, I'm sure, and
for sure.
that stuff.
All right.
All right.
Well, what do we want to like? We've been going for over 2 hours now. Do we want to? We're going to keep going.
We can wrap this up.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
You cool?
Yeah, I'm good.
Any more questions from anyone?
I don't know. I could ask
Questions,
I could
concerns,
ask more
comments?
stuff, but you know.
Feel free if you have, just keep shooting. He still has a beer to finish, so yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe we wait until he's finished his beer, watch him drink quick.
Yeah, chug it. Go.
Can't ask another gear. So people
I like how that's such a huge part of it.
Yeah, he really. That was all he wanted.
I've spoken to some people, and they say that it's easier to shoot in CS2. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Easier to shoot, like kill, yeah. But like,
just in general, like
No,
not necessarily
no.
a certain mechanic, but they think it's like that's why people are like, oh yeah, that's why Carrigan's having better performances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think, or maybe a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say so. I think still, it's basically the same. But I mean, the Pika's advantage is maybe a bit too strong.
Still too high.
But
Still?
it's gotten better for
Maybe
sure.
just
Maybe
slightly,
it's
yeah.
okay. Maybe it's okay. But I feel like the way they like announced the game and like now it's CS2, like that was like embarrassing to be honest.
You didn't like it
I just felt like the game was so bad.
when it first came out.
Yeah. I was like, come on, like we're in 2024, you know, or like I expected more, but like now I feel like it's in a very good state. Like,
Sure.
but and it could even better.
Yeah.
Where's it? Oh, go
No,
on.
go for it.
I was gonna say, where's Simple going? Where's the dirt on Simple? You think he's coming back? I think he's done.
You think he's done?
He thinks he's
done.
fucking cooked, mate.
I think he's done.
I think he wants to come back. Yeah, I think he'll come back.
Do you
Where
think
does he
you think he's gonna be good?
If he wants to, yeah, he can be. He can be for sure.
What about Simple to G2 in place of Nexa?
Simple. You've always wanted to be an anchor, right?
I mean, I'm just throwing shit on the wall right now. I don't know where he'd go.
I don't know where he'd go either at this point. It's a little bit weird to think about. Oh, Yanko's having a heart attack.
It's fine, Yanko, man. It's
Yeah,
going to be a
it's-
2-0.
It's all good.
Like, they can lose this round. It's okay to lose this round. It's not a problem, man.
Yeah, Chad.
I don't
Because
have
you
a-
watch all the G2 games and you know how they go, right?
Yeah, but like, they're not going to lose to M80 twice.
Surely not.
Chad asked you this to open up about your move to Astralis being so predicated on device. But was there?
It was me.
Sorry, Yanko asked you this at
Yeah.
the start of the
Yeah.
Okay,
episode.
now that we set the record
someone
straight,
asked you that, yeah.
that's more like it.
When you, I mean, I know it kind of developed as you were kind of playing and rising up through the ranks, but is there like a certain level of pride in you as a Dane to play for like the Astralis organization?
I mean, yes and no. I
Okay.
feel like, in general, this switch has been hard on me as well. Like, it's basically like changing to the rival, you know, and
Yeah.
especially like since I've been in Heroic for so long.
Because
and-
you're part of the reason Heroic actually became a rival.
Exactly. So yeah, it's getting better and better. I mean, as time goes, but like, yeah, with all the drama and then just in general, like just that switch, I never And I wouldn't like if you asked me 2 years ago, like, are you gonna play for Astralis one day? You would hear me say, yeah, fuck no. You would hear me say that. But like things change, you know. Like you never know what's gonna happen in 2 years, you know. Like you change,
Also,
like, your perspective changes, you know. And it's just like sometimes here in the beginning, it's been like putting that jersey on. Like, okay, I'm gonna go, and this just feels weird. But that's
Getting used to it day by day.
Yeah, exactly.
what do you think like the realistic goals are for your for the Astralis lineup? You know, because obviously, yeah, from the outside you're looking good, but you know how much better you can get and how everything is going.
I mean, from just already like the beginning now has been going really good. I mean, I could just feel like we can go really far. Honestly, I really feel that we have a really strong team. So yeah, I think we're just about like keep going, and I think we can go really far. Honestly, I have a big belief in it. And the thing with like you can say all you want about like it's a honeymoon, you know, it's because you can, but like the thing is, it's not every team that has a honeymoon. You know, you see all these new teams like.
True.
Also,
Cloud9 only had nightmares.
Exactly, and us in the beginning with
Liquid didn't have a honeymoon.
Falcons, you know, it is hard, you know, and I think maybe we have a honeymoon, but it still means that I think we're gonna be really good. I think like the team is really good, and just the way we're playing is just really nice.
So where would you say you are right now in terms of your development, right? Obviously 100% being fully developed. Where are you right now? How close you are to that stage?
I think I can still improve on a lot of stuff. I mean, I know some like the critics and stuff like that is always also like Stavn in playoffs and like it's choking again.
Couldn't be me.
Who knows? I mean,
Definitely not me
and to
either.
a degree, it's fair and I understand it. I mean, I've had some games where I wish I could have played better, but I also feel like I've had some really good games in really important matches where I've played like dominated a series. I feel like, so I know I can do it. You know, it's just, for example, like just getting more consistent and learning to relax more when playing. You know, and that I think that can evolve me. You know, I want to be more consistent.
You know what's different about this roster is they have a star AWPer. Right, like if device doesn't drop off, it's not a dig at KD.
Yeah.
KD would always have those crazy clutches. I have no idea how he won so many of those fucking clutches, bro.
It's literally insane the clutches he wins.
He might have some of the best clutch highlight reels of all time.
Yes, for sure. I mean, this like we are sometimes watching as well, Liquid playing, and we just see call it just KD. He's KD clutch now. Yeah, you can just feel it. It's just like it's so funny. You just feel like when I played with him as well, he's just in the zone. You can just see it.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing to see.
That's quite the catalog that he has. It's all right, Yanko. They're only going to lose
an eco, Chad. Now this is an eco now.
Yeah, but it's only the second.
But they lost to like 2 ecos already.
Yeah, they lost to 2 ecos in 3 rounds, Chad.
Hey, it's fine. They're the hardest rounds in the game, right?
Yeah, they are.
Watching a grown man unravel.
I had a question. You were talking about clutches and Cadian and device.
Oh yeah, it's like star AWPer difference now.
He's lost it.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. With Cadian, it was like the problem I feel like was he had really high highs when he was playing well in big games, but also really low lows. For example, Katowice final 2023, like he was doing a lot, you know, like having a lot of impact, sort of keeping you guys in the game on Nuke and on Mirage. You could tell when he was having a good game. But that Stockholm game, the Inferno one against G2, that's when it was like becomes a liability with, you know, missed shots and all of this stuff, which I feel like that's the problem. Like you would always, you know, from a macro side, you just want consistency. Like you feel like you can,
especially with someone in that role,
you can work with consistency even if the ceiling isn't high. But as long as you can count on a certain level of performance or output, then you know what you have.
You can plan around it,
and you can plan or you think you can plan around it, and you come up with something. The problem is like if sometimes it's like when it's going really good, like.
Well, yeah, they're going to win on a
They're going to win, Jason. It's fine. Like, they're winning the ball,
No, I'm not complaining about. He just like he didn't see a player on his screen. That's what.
Maybe he closed his eyes. You know,
he was meditating.
Yeah.
but the problem is like then it has the lows at that point, then your whole game tanks.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Well, that's the thing. I think they played such a high variant style of Counter-Strike in Heroic. When it was working and everything was singing, you guys were going to smash because everyone had to be everyone had to be in the flow state when Heroic played their best Counter-Strike. Whereas I think with Astralis, there'll probably be a bit more structure or maybe more to fall back on than there was with Heroic, which I don't know how I can even base that statement. That's just kind of a feeling that I have.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, for sure.
See, look at it. He can see what I mean.
He can see what you mean.
Yeah, I've done well there. I
that's
fucking
good.
nailed
You've-
it.
you
The
don't have to
analysis, these eyes, they still work.
What happened in the Gamer Legion game?
Wow.
I mean, to be honest, we should have won 2-0. And
Yeah?
I mean, I remember I had a really good series against them as well until the third map. And I just, that's such a hard game. But that game, like Ime as well, he was just destroying us. Honestly,
Yeah.
he was just finding timings in the middle always.
When you watch him play now, thinking of that Gamer Legion, are you like, fuck this guy?
I think he's still good. And then, I mean, the thing with Navi as well is like it's insane that to me they won that major. Honestly.
Oh, sure.
Especially with him also not having like his best tournament in the roles he plays. You know, like you should never like look at just the statistics from that tournament and see that Navi won that tournament with one of the like star
And
star
Alexi
roles
was like the lowest rated player of the whole tournament.
Yeah,
for a long
I mean
time.
it is crazy.
But in the final, he had a good game.
I also feel like, I mean, I at least remember practicing against Navi a bit before the playoffs as well, and some of the other teams as well, maybe. I just had this like Navi, then they're gonna lose the first playoff round. Okay, they win that.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose the second semi. Okay, now a final against
Okay,
FaZe, they're gonna
FaZe is
lose
gonna-
now. But the thing is, I feel like in all those games as well, they were like kind of the underdogs, to be honest. Like, and that's like one of the things that helped them a lot. I think maybe Blade also
The no pressure
So
angle.
yeah, I think that helped them a lot just in these games because no one expected them to win
So
any
you think
game.
Simple could go back to Navi because we spoke before about Navi. You know, you asked us if we thought Navi would win another trophy. I think we said no. I feel like you asked that because you also feel no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you think like Simple could go back there?
maybe. I think
don't think there's any way.
just like I think he likes to play with Bit as well. Simple, at least it seems like they have a good relationship. But
I don't think there's any way.
I don't think either.
What's the?
Well, I
I-
had something,
I
but I
got
lost
one.
it.
I got one.
Yeah, go.
Is there a favorite Stavn highlight over the years? Is there one that you're like, that's my fucking sickest clip?
I mean there's some definitely. I think like the personal favorite still is like from one of the like first tournaments with Heroic. I think on ESL Pro League groups against Sprout, and it was like a deciding game, and I won like a 1v3 on the last map, like 14-13 on Overpass. I think maybe you were casting it actually.
Probably was.
Whoa.
Mate, back in the
It was just clutch where like
Did he give you the beans? Did he hype you up?
it was like an AWP 1v3 clutch on A side Overpass from Bank, and I like killed one guy, and then
I think I do remember this.
it's the diffuse is like with milliseconds.
Millisecond, yeah.
And it's like I pull my knife at some point and just shift for like 4 seconds, and then on 1 and 2, and it just was milliseconds, and it was just perfect.
Perfect.
I like that one.
Okay.
I'm proud of that one.
Nice.
My question was going to be, did you notice that the quality of your practice went up against these teams when they were at the major and you weren't, because you were, they didn't have to hide stuff against you, and you're a really good team, and they could actually get really good practice during the time, right? Like that these teams practice you differently during the major than it happens otherwise, or?
I mean, I think the quality of practice is better. I think you can feel it on the way they play as well. Like it's very serious for them,
Because sometimes people like don't want to show stuff
Yeah.
in these practices because you're both contenders. You will meet in the playoffs, right? And you don't want to show them this new thing you have. But at the major there was no Astralis there, and you still play a game and you want to test something out. You're not sure how good it is, and then you feel like, okay, we can do it against these guys. They're not here. Like the major is what matters the most now.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that, because to be honest, it's hard. I don't know. I always felt like scrimming can be like you can have a full day of scrims, and I felt like we didn't, gain much today, and we played like 5 maps, because either the opponents, it's like scenarios that like I just know won't really happen in games, right? Like, and it's also hard to keep players disciplined when you're winning like 12-0 against or whatever. It's like 11-2, right? And everything's just going so well, and so there were times where I felt like maybe there's a way to be more productive than this. Maybe there should be even less maps, but that's also, it's not viable, that you spend more time doing theory than you do actually playing.
Right.
But yeah, now, I mean, it looks funny when you compare it to like, let's say sports, right? I mean, most of the time you're just dry running.
Well, it's like, it's also like Chad said, there's 5 people on a Counter-Strike team and a coach. And the NFL, they have 30 some people.
Yeah, no worries, man.
So you have, and then you have a practice squad as well. So it's like you can practice internally. Yeah, you just run your plays internally. Yeah. That's why I asked him if he's been like if they still play against top teams, because like it is in some level in my head like it's kind of like the way it has to happen. But in my head, I'm like it's actually kind of insane that the top level of Counter-Strike all plays against each other in practice.
Well,
much.
You play, but depends how much you play and to what extent.
Right.
Also,
and you don't show everything. Obviously,
also the team that's the best. For example, when you practice Astralis back in the day, there was really no point that much because they were the best and they didn't ever want to give anything away. So they were basically scouting you in practice. Yeah. They were one of the first teams to do it. Then I learned later on there's teams who, they use the analysts to write down shit in practice. And then when they play you, they use that as notes as well, which for me was silly because
you could be doing anything in practice.
Yeah, exactly. Like I might be just that day, I'm just like
defaulting,
trying to play a certain style that day, and like you could just fuck yourself by doing that.
But still, I mean, we all know it from being a player. At some point, is you do like notice how individuals like to play certain scenarios.
Oh yeah, no,
you do get a sense of the pacing of a lurk or whatever it might be. So like there is always information that you're gathering.
Yeah, like but that's regardless. I mean,
or you should be able to get that.
It's like you get a better feel for it the more you play against the guy or the team.
Yeah. But that's good for the individuals in the server of how to deal with it.
Yep.
Right. Maybe it's just reminding them, I guess, is one way to look at it. But yeah, when he comes back, let's shut it down.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We've done 2 hours, and how do you want to? Well, we'll talk about it after.
Just upload it.
Do you want me to run? I got to run it through the AI.
Yeah.
Do you want to whack anything on the beginning?
I haven't created that intro. I have it at home, but I forgot to upload it to the drive.
So I just upload.
Yeah, just upload it.
Just doing
forgetting everything.
Yeah, I might do it tomorrow then.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Yeah,
I gotta be up in the lobby tomorrow.
That's all good. Do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's media day. It'll be good to get a release it there too.
9 a.m.
What? Really?
The lobby.
You got nailed to that?
Yeah. Lucky me. No, Frank just messaged me last minute. All right, Stavn. We're going to close this thing down. Anything you want to say to the people at home? Anything you didn't get off your chest?
Anything we didn't ask?
No, I don't think there's anything. I mean, other than to the ones who are supporting us. That's nice. Yeah.
Anything you want to ask us? It's your one chance with the Talking Counter boys.
Yep. If we're all a little drunk, we'll be very truthful.
Oh, I can't think of anything. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers,
Thank you for having me on. Thank you.